this sort of game is well set for Tony Liberatore. He backs to the wall, the Bulldogs.
Oh, both sides backs to the wall, though. This is going to be a real challenge, I think, for the maturity of the Magpies. They had a bonding session on the Mornington Peninsula during the week. I saw them training at Sorrento Football Ground in freezing cold conditions. It was hailing, and they were all pretty buoyant. They'd had the big pizza at Big Joe's Pizza in the main street down there, Robbo, and
that's the place to be, Jared.
well, if that doesn't get you fired up for a big match, nothing ever will.
Well, I think, as I said before, if you've got a situation like this and you're not involved, you haven't got any passion, the blood's not pumping through your body, well, you're just not a human being, are you? Surely. I mean, the desperation stakes are high here.
O'Brien is lining up with Rowan Smith on centre wing. So they won't be involved with the centre bounce, but rest assured O'Brien will get in amongst that centre action pretty quickly. Scotty Burns starting off in the middle.
So away we go. An excellent bounce at the centre, and Anthony Rocker doing the ruck work. Burns dragged to the ground by Grant. Robbins tried to get it clear. Prestigiacomo dragged off the football, and some good effective tackling around that centre bounce area has led to the umpire having to repeat the dose.
Interesting, Anthony Rocker starting on the ball. Josh Fraser's gone forward, and Chris Terry and Josh Fraser playing up inside the 50 now. It's going to be a big job for Rocker. You'll probably blow out early, and that's going to be a lot of hot balls already, blood rules. So, and it's Libber, of all people, Jerry.
Straight off for Libber, and at the other end of the ground, Chris Tarrant's being manned up by Kingsley Hunter. So perhaps that horrible miss in front of goals last week by Kingsley Hunter has just convinced Terry Wallace that he's just never going to be a full forward again.
Nathan Eagleton has come onto the ground at the expense there. We see Libber, he's got a little nick under his left eye, and he'll be back on shore pretty quickly.
Looks like Dimatina running there with Nathan Buckley.
So the umpire to restart play. Buckley underneath Darcy. I wonder whether that's a ploy to try and run across the path of Luke Darcy. Lockyer, still Lockyer, now Croft. Lockyer was held when, well, I quite wondered there. I mean, Mark McKenzie was very close to the action.
Appeared pretty hot, didn't it, Robbo? Here it is.
Just held on to a little bit longer, but gee, you see that a lot in football today, and then very rarely penalised, but Lockyer gets a free shot at goal in the early minutes of this match.
Two young guns going head to head. Robert Murphy of the Bulldogs is with Nick Davis of the Magpies, and Tarkin Lockyer will have once again a chance to reaffirm his status as one of the most accurate kicks from set shots.
He is a beautiful kick of the football, and that is no exception. It's the first goal of the game.
Great start for the Magpies there, getting the first goal on the board. And the first man Tarkin Lockyer ran to was Nathan Buckley. Magpies obviously fired up here. As we watch the replay, the block was set and looked like Curley there. Well, he was committed and maybe a tad lucky Collingwood to get that free kick, but nonetheless, it's the all-important first goal on the board. The Magpies have got just the start they were looking for.
And Libber quickly back onto the ground, and looks like O'Brien is his target. You thought maybe early that O'Brien with Rowan Smith, Jared, but
just the lineup.
Yep.
I reckon Libber is a good matchup for O'Brien. O'Brien in and under. Good leap there from Rocket, getting it down.
Oh, terrific to Lacuria. The ball falls at the feet of the players at half forward for the Magpies, and hacked out of the air, gets the ball at half forward for the Bulldogs, but it's Nick Davis kicking the ball in towards the forward 50, and Croft has taken the mark, and he breaks clear. He handballs further down the field. Get rid of it, Luke Darcy. No, he spins beautifully out of trouble. Left foot kick is a bit of a wobbly old helicopter, lands the ball at half forward. Kick for goal by Brad Johnson over his right shoulder, bounces awkwardly. Johnson onto it again. The Bullies have got one back. No, he's missed. Gee, you would have bet London to a brick on that he would have got that. Brad Johnson, he's disappointed.
Gee, that was a wonderful piece of football, wasn't it? But Brad Johnson's just explosive. He got the kick and he followed it up. It was just unlucky he missed that. He deserved the goal.
Loney's kick in has found Andrew Dimatina. Of course, Andrew for the Magpies and Paul for the Bulldogs. Wakeland, left foot kick out wide. Malloy running onto him is Ellis. Got him. Handball away. Holland close to the boundary line. The Bullies play the percentages, and it's knocked over by Kingsley Hunter for a boundary throw in right half forward for Collingwood.
almost think the Magpies might be served to have Tarrant back in the goal square and open the forward line up for him and expose Hunter a little bit, Jared, because it might have an edge there.
Got a couple of players resting back there, Fish. They've got 3 players to Tarkin Lockyer, the Bulldogs.
Curley's kick is well marked by Loney. He's done a terrific job, Ryan Loney, getting a game at Magpies and holding his position for the whole year. Here's a chance. Nick Davis mops it up. Nick Davis, goal. Is it to the Maggies? Yes.
Two of the stars of the future for the Magpies there. Ryan Loney, 2 goals. 2 quick goals for the Magpies early in this game. A wonderful start. And 2 stars for the Magpies, future stars. Young Loney here, sweeping onto that damaging left foot, putting it out in front of Tarkin Lockyer, giving him a chance, who feeds inside to the running Nick Davis. And that's the sort of run and fresh legs we've come to expect from the Magpies this year. So a good start for the Maggies.
Great finish, wasn't he? He's a magnificent kick, Nick Davis.
Yeah. Well, 2 goals to 1 behind. Collingwood lead, kicked forward by West. Bartlett provides a contest at half forward for the Bulldogs. Lucuria gets the ball out. Prestigiacomo's kicked back into the middle, taken by Smith. Smith goes out wide. Gathered here by Harrison, onto his trusty left, into the pocket. Good kick. Knocked away though, and gathered by Wakeland. Prestigiacomo, gee, that was a good interception by Hudson. Loney to Wakeland. Wakeland got the hand pass away to Andrew Dimatina. O'Bree's tackled by Grant. It's close and tight. In under. Grant tackled by O'Bree, which was all fair and above board. And the umpire will call for a bounce.
Good start, good footy from both sides here. The Bulldogs yet to put a score on the board. Johnson should have got a goal, so they've had their opportunities, but the tackling is ferocious, and the running and the desperation, I guess, reflects the position that both sides now face in this season.
55 metres from the Bulldogs' goal, and a real tussle there, wasn't it?
Well, that surely the umpire might have thought about putting the whistle to his mouth there, because the intent for the ball just didn't seem to be there. But
who should have got the free kick? Darcy, maybe?
No, I thought there's Rocker in the matchup with Croft. He's having a bit of a breather after starting on the ball. But I thought Darcy might have just erred against the rules of the game there. Just ever so slightly, Robbo. But I'm glad to see the umpire letting it go.
Ben Harrison on Jared Malloy.
Well, kicked away there by Simon Prestigiacomo, close to the boundary line. Dimatina and O'Bree. Tries to get it back to Alice, taken by Buckley. Gee, that was terrific interception by Scotty West. Just got his hand onto it and to his own advantage. Then he kicked the ball back into the middle. Darcy a little awkward. Hudson, well done Luke Darcy. Just edged his way out of awkward position there. And Wakeland taken high by Johnson, was he?
No.
Oh!
Where was the prior opportunity, umpire?
What about the tackle? Wasn't the tackle high?
I think he might have just ducked, but then there's no reason. Oh no, that was high. Spot on. That's an unbelievable decision.
Poor decision.
And then to pay it against Wakeland was just throwing a bit of salt into the open wound.
Could have edged his way out of trouble himself, the umpire there, by just calling play on. So Brad Johnson, maybe a little fortunate. He's an excellent kick for goal. He is an excellent kick for goal, and that is no exception. Equal to Tarkin Lockyer. So goal for the Bulldogs, kicked by Brad Johnson, and they hit back. Collingwood are 2 goals, the Bulldogs are 1-1.
And Fish, at this stage, the boos are outweighing the cheers by about 15 to 1.
Well, if you wanted to bring the Collingwood crowd into the game, the umpire's just done it. There is a strong case for that free kick being totally unnecessary there.
No prior opportunity.
No chance at all.
What a shocker.
Our umpires, just in case you are wondering, are Darren Goldspeak, Mark McKenzie and Corin Rowe.
And who do you think was responsible for that one? Was it?
Do they catch taxis to the bush anymore nowadays?
On the grounds of possible incrimination, we shall remain silent, Jared.
Plead the fifth.
Darcy, West already. Geez, an important player, Scotty West. He kicks it forward, but Wakeland has marked. Magpie fans pretty happy about that. Bit stiff that he didn't get a free kick. Kinnear has the ball at right half back for the Maggies.
Oh,
gets
lovely.
a reasonable kick, and Buckley. Quick hand pass off O'Bree. Where are the leads? It's being provided by Nick Davis at his feet. Well tackled by Murphy. Still the ball in underneath there of Nick Davis. Ben Harrison over the top. The umpire will call for a bounce.
It's James Clement that he's got the job on Brad Johnson, as Davis looks like he may have dislocated a finger. And if you haven't had one of those before, it comes as a bit of a shock. As you get a bit older, you almost can just whip them back into place yourself.
Josh Fraser finds some space and then delivers very nicely, but Lockyer couldn't take the mark. West to tidy up. The vacuum cleaner, Scotty West, delivers the ball to half forward. The mark taken by Hudson. They'd be looking for a blinder from Paul Hudson, you would think, if they'd kick a winning score at the Bullies. Bartlett in front of Wakeland. Bartlett gets the hand pass away. Kicked away by Prestigiacomo. Close to the boundary line, Nick Davis. Can he control it? O'Brien can. And gets the handball away. Good call and good delivery. Kinnear was on the end of it. Kinnear approaches right half forward. Kicks it short. Fraser couldn't control the football. A real good contest here. Anthony Rocker in underneath. Harrison, can he get his kick away? He can. It's high. It's to a contest. O'Brien, well done. Kept his eye right on the footy, marking away from Liberatore.
He's almost untaggable, I think, Shane O'Brien. He just appears to be able to get in and scrounge kicks, and he's already racked up 4.
Short ball, Malloy, still too far out to score.
Chris Tarrant just leading a bit too early. He wasn't set to kick that, Jared Malloy, and Tarrant led to a position that put him out of play.
Amazing, the timing, when a forward's just a little bit out of touch, the timing is slightly off. And I'll come back to that tag of the untaggable, Jared. That's a rare player, but you're quite right. He's so elusive.
But it's more that he is just in at the bottom of the pack, so it's very difficult to tag down there.
Gee, that was well done by Ben Kinnear. He was offered a couple of leads. I think it may have been Anthony Rocker out to the right. Nathan Buckley tried twice. He ignored both of them, and eventually Josh Fraser found a little bit of space, and the delivery was excellent.
Well, look at on replay here. As you said, Robbo, a few options there, and I think this is where Collingwood have got a couple of edges over the opposition. The mobility of their forwards may just cause problems for the Bulldogs today, because as dogged as they are, as we see Nick Davis having that finger repaired, he's actually played about 2 minutes of football and almost had a possession with it. So, as Jared said,
that's how he.
There it is.
That's how he did it. And there's the 2 Tyros, Davis and Robert Murphy.
Well, we're watching one of the real up-and-coming stars of the caper, I'm sure, Josh Fraser. He's kicking from about 40 metres, slight angle, and lets himself down drastically. Just got it through from behind, I would have thought.
And Lipper just came up and gave him a bit of goal-kicking technical advice.
And much appreciated too.
Libber, the little expert, eh? Scott West receiving. Harrison, here's Libber. Short kick, very good. Ellis from inside the square. Tries a pass. Bartlett couldn't take it. Still Johnson at ground level. Gathered here by Hudson. Can't find enough space to get a free shot at goal. Grant goes back and Libber takes it. Libber, shot at goal. Missed everything. And Libber, if Josh Fraser was in the vicinity, he'd probably come down and say, "Don't teach me how to kick for goal."
Old man.
It's a turnover.
And you really couldn't kick it to a more damaging player. Nathan Brown is an excellent kick off the left. He's going to have a set shot at goal from about 45 metres.
Here's Robbo, and this guy in front of goal is damaging. It surprised me that when you want to switch to find space, that the percentages have just got to be weighed heavily in your favour. Nathan Brown can kick this.
Well, Nathan Brown's shot at goal goes across the face of goal, helped over by Wakeland for a rush behind. And Tony Liberatore's goal-kicking abilities this year, not something that you'd really talk about, Jared. He's only kicked 1 goal this season.
He's working on his next.
So that kick by Nathan Brown forced through for a rush behind to the Bulldogs. This is Andrew Dimatina wide at left half back for the Maggies. Good vision, Lucuria. He's a damaging player also. Gets the football a fair bit, Paul Lucuria.
I reckon when Dennis Cometti coined the phrase centimetre perfect, Robbo, he didn't have any idea that 10 years later players would be doing it over 60 metres.
Exactly. Big punch by Kingsley Hunter to the front of the pack. Lockyer and West. Lockyer, well, it was very tight, wasn't it there? And a boundary throw in will take place. Right in front of the Great Southern Stand here at the MCG. We've got a crowd that would probably be in excess of 50,000. A beautiful day in Melbourne. Kinnear for another possession. That's about his 5th kick. Kicks in towards the area of Malloy and Alice. In goes Anthony Rocker, but desperate stuff by Harrison. Licuria tackled by West. O'Brien, there he is, your ball magnet again, Gerard. Liberatore robbed his own man there. Robbins in there to help Liberatore. Oh, look at Malloy. Oh, get in there, Gerard. There's a dust up and you're right in the middle of it.
Well, he just adds a lot of spark, doesn't he, to the Magpie unit. Just looking at the, if we take one moment to look at the Bulldogs forward line, there's a bit of mobility down there as well. We're talking conversely to Collingwood's forward half. So very much in the midfield today, who can gain ascendancy there, might have the edge. Scott
Burns with just one hand pass is off the ground, and Freeborn has taken his place. Now, terrific contest. Anthony Rocker was enormous there. He jarred the ball free to the advantage of one of his teammates. The kick went into the full forward area. Nick Davis, not much he could do there. Hunter's kick was excellent. Found Paul Dimatina. Had the running support player. Here is Curley. Curley gets rid of the football, only just in time. Harrison ran the length of the ground, kicked in towards half forward. Where are the crummers? It's going to be Prestigiacomo, who rode his own knockdown. Kinnear back to Prestigiacomo, and Prestigiacomo kicks the ball wide, and the mark is taken out here in front of us by Anthony Rocker. Looked maybe to give the hand pass off. Freeborn has been in support along this wing all the way. Brodie Holland kicking towards half forward, well done. Scotty West chipping in. Breaks it all down. Short kick all right. Liberatore. Wide. Player on his own. Out there is Paul Hudson.
And the Magpie midfielders, they've got to get down into defence pretty quickly after that turnover.
Garlick into the pocket. Johnson couldn't take it. Bartlett at the backhand. Left foot shot for goal by Bartlett. Might bounce through. It does, but just from behind.
Just a bit disappointing. I reckon Mick Malthouse would be too. The midfielders and the half-back line for the Magpies all ran charging forward, but then there was an ugly turnover as there was. Because it went out very wide, it gave them an opportunity to run down the corridor and give some support, but they were just jogging. They were happy to leave it in a one-on-one situation, and it nearly cost them a goal. Extra players run down, they outnumber it, and they skirt it away themselves.
Yeah, certainly. You just got to work so hard both ways in this modern game of football, so you get brought undone on the turnover, Gerard.
Gee, that was cleverly done, wasn't it, by Chris Grant? I think we come to expect that from a player of his skill. West and Licuria. Good contest. Gee, it's under there, Scotty. You've got to get rid of it. No, Licuria's penalised. I thought the best decision there would have been maybe to ball it up or let them try and clear the ball from underneath.
Gee, it's his 7th possession already in this game. Scott West, they missed him last week.
Kick forward. Hudson is bumped out of there, and Fraser takes quite a simple mark. Lane across the full-back line. O'Brien looking maybe to give the hand pass off. He's going to be forced to kick, and it's all right too. Nick Davis takes the mark. He plays on quickly. Anthony Rocker, good kick, excellent kick. Gee, maybe Tarrant had sped it before he gathered the ball, but he was able to recover, and then on his favoured left foot kicks it to within scoring distance. Oh, great mark.
It's not the kick in though, because the Bulldogs are flooding back pretty well. They've got an extra couple of players down there, and they've got to chip it and then get it over that line.
Harrison receiving from Rowan Smith. Oh, they're coming back, charging the Bulldogs. Johnson had just a little bit of space.
Not much on.
Could go short to Curley, ignored that. That's Bartlett with Prestigiacomo. Goes into the pocket. Hudson couldn't take the mark. Loney looked quickly at the umpire as if he may have suspected an infringement against him, but nothing happening there. Paul Hudson. Boundary throw in about 75 metres around from the Western Bulldogs goal. Darcy and Fraser. Gee, Darcy nearly put it down Garlick's throat. Loney, well done. Kinnear again. Already Ben Kinnear has racked up 7 possessions. Robbins. That's a free kick.
That time. Just a bit sloppy under pressure. Prestigiacomo and Ryan Loney have both started well in defence for the Collingwood team.
This is Lockyer with the football. Lockyer, one of Collingwood's goal kickers. The other one, Nick Davis.
Good hit.
Anthony Rocker. He'd love to have a ping here, wouldn't he? He's going to kick it long. He hooked it a little into the pocket, and the mark is taken back there by Ellis.
Oh, gee, that was a poor decision by Rocker then. He had options. Brodie Holland had broken free out of screen there and chose the open goal square. Just didn't flush it.
Good little kick there by Simon Garlick has found Darcy on just behind the wing. Short kick is all right too. Curley has run down. He's got Croft inboard. Croft is on it. He'll run to 50. Can he get past? He slipped. Maybe that was a little fortunate. Hooks the kick to the goal square. It bounces off the hands there of Bartlett and goes through for a behind to the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs are just a little more damaging on the turnover at the moment. They haven't made the Magpies pay as yet, but you just get the feeling if they can be more direct off half-back, the Magpies could be caught on the hop.
Lucuria accepting from Loney. Good kick to the face of Lockyer. Hand pass, excellent. Lucuria, Buckley loves this circumstance, streaming through, but the kick is smothered off the boot. It rebounds out wide to Lockyer. That's actually hurt Simon Garlick, hasn't it? Might have hit him right in the mush. Short kick is all right. Lucuria. Ellis confronts Lucuria. Lucuria's handball gathered by Fraser. Back he goes to Lucuria. Just tightened a little bit for room. Delivers into the pocket and Curley gets back and marks.
I think Garlick actually decided to headbutt that. Unfortunately, he's going to have a bit of a headache to show for his trouble.
And the Magpie forwards will be a little bit disappointed. There's no system up there at the moment. They're belting it in and getting nowhere for their midfield efforts.
Another chance for the Bulldogs. Croft has drifted down forward of the wing. He's got Hudson if he can get back. Can't get back quick enough. Poor minding of the mark by Anthony Rocker. Kicking towards half forward. Where are the Crummers? They're there. Robert Murphy. Snapshot for goal by Robert Murphy. He's too far. And hits the behind post. Paul Hudson, arms out wide, appealing for it. We watch again Nathan Buckley's kick.
Ouch.
Got him. That's why it ricocheted so much. I thought to myself that was an amazing smother because it ricocheted about 25 metres. It was a header.
Prestigiacomo and Grant over the top. Fraser, Garlick straight back into it and absolutely rocketed into Josh Fraser.
She's a coach, would love to see that. Terry Wallace would know that he's got at least one player there just fired up and ready to go.
Well, Josh, with experience, will know that it's very hard to get away with that sort of manoeuvre in the defensive pocket throw-in, particularly turning him back into the plate. There's always been numbers at the ball. Bit of niggling going on. There's a lot of there's a real physical presence about this game.
25 players around the football in that area of the ground, and Lucuria got the handball out. Clement. Eventually a kick goes out wide. Buckley. Well, good, wasn't it? Perception and then delivery. Lockyer from Buckley. Lockyer's left foot kick is a little ordinary.
Terry Wallace should be thinking about Lockyer though, and his opponent Matt Robbins, who's had a good year. But Lockyer is just he has been their main go-to man. He has really just delivered the ball through the midfield.
Garlick, who we saw affect the tackle on Josh Fraser. Johnson holding on against Johnson, wasn't it? On Lane. Umpire decided to ignore that. Watch him grab him by the arm. That's unbelievable. We've got three umpires so that they can get into areas to see those sort of things, and they missed that, which was pretty obvious. Down it comes to Johnson. Johnson over his left shoulder. Gets the ball in the area of Grant. He's usually good at second and third efforts. Chris Grant not able to get back at the football on that occasion. And the ball hacked over the line for a boundary throw-in.
That was good play by Jared Malloy there. Just finding the boots to the ball. Settling things down a little bit.
Chris Grant beckoning to his teammates up at the forward line to just create a little bit of space. Here's a chance for Libba. Maybe run down by O'Brien. Ball spills over. And Garlick, Buckley, O'Brien in that area of the ground. Paul Dibattina for the Bulldogs. The boundary umpire will throw it in. Fraser and Darcy. Darcy gets it down and gets it down pretty well too to Ellis. Ellis to Rowan Smith. Rowan Smith had Curley. Didn't quite spot him. Grant could spot Curley, but chopping in there and breaking it up there was Loney. Loney, a beautiful kick of the football. Loney. Wonderful delivery for Anthony Rocker.
He's just got to take his time now, Anthony, because he's been working relatively hard for the first 10 minutes of this quarter. I think he's been shifted down there to get him out of the traffic to recover. So when you're weary and when you're tired, it's you do make mistakes in front of goal. He's just got to take his time and get himself as composed physically as possible.
I can highly recommend tucking everything in and pulling everything up. And
I reckon I aged 15 years waiting for you to kick goals at times, Fish.
Loney has started well, 5 possessions from that half-back, full-back line for the Magpies. We're watching Anthony Rocker attempt to kick Collingwood's third goal. It's a very, very ordinary kick. It's actually still alive. Lockyer was grabbed, but the spillage has gone over for a boundary throw-in.
Gee, Jared, you've been right before, mate, but you're actually spot on with that one with Anthony. He has been really finding the air hard to get through. He's had a couple of long chases, and that kick was very evident of that.
Darcy shepherded off the ball there by Fraser. Ellis a little high with the elbow. Rowan Smith and Malloy. Kingsley Hunter. Football going absolutely nowhere. 1-4 the Bulldogs, 2-1 the Magpies.
Well, so far in this game, we've seen the ball rebound out of the respective forward 50 zones too easily. And it's probably the first occasion that the pressure of the forward line has been able to lock it up. And we've got a genuine contest in the corridor, and that'll settle down.
Might be worth Collingwood changing the mix of their forward line just in the last couple of minutes. It's just not working for them at the moment.
We did see Chad Rintoul warming up on the boundary line. He came in at the expense of Carl Steinfort into this Collingwood lineup. The kick back towards the middle. Grant, good discipline. He had to knock it, and he did. Well done, Prestigiacomo to O'Brien. O'Brien short, good kick.
Oh, lovely.
Malloy is marked about 40 metres out and about a 45-degree angle. Collingwood lead by 3 points. They're 2-1 to 1-4.
Yeah, the thing you like about Jared Malloy, he does all the hard work, and he's taken an uncontested mark there. You just don't mind players of that ilk. As Leon Davis comes on the ground for Brodie Holland, player of Jared Malloy's ilk getting those sorts of shots at goals, those opportunities. He works so hard to create them, and when they come his way, they're thoroughly deserved.
Well, the Magpie fans will be watching the flight of this ball. Don't worry about it, Pie fans. It's a goal. Kicked by Malloy. Collingwood 3-1-19, leading the Bulldogs 1-4-10.
And I reckon they needed this one, Collingwood. They've worked particularly hard in this quarter to get some shots at goal, and I reckon their shots at goal have been more deliberate than the Bulldogs. And they just needed that one to give them value for their work.
Prestigiacomo has been good, hasn't he, early?
And Loney.
And Kinnear, yep, the big fella's down back.
Robbins has come from the ground. His man was just getting a bit too much of the footy. Leon's there, and it looks like it may be Simon Garlick. So
Darcy advantaged there by the early leap, got his left foot to it, hacked it towards half forward. Rowan Smith is a quick answer here. Shot for goal by Eagleton. Beautiful kick, Nathan Eagleton. He's popped it through for the Bulldogs goal.
Well, that was just beautifully set up out of the centre there, and a quick reply. You just hope doesn't chip away at the confidence of the Magpies, because they've worked pretty hard for their return so far in this game. If you watch Luke Darcy, he jumps well. His timing was such that he's able to land on his feet, well balanced, and a very high percentage of clearances from the middle will land in that corridor region at the front of the square. So you just have to be in front as a forward, and Nathan Eagleton doing the mopping up.
Coming off the defensive end of the square there, Nathan Eagleton, and Rowan Smith doing well with that hand pass. Buckley's kick was smothered. Ball rebounds nearly into the hands of Ellis. Oh, the D9. Whoa, wacky-doo. The Magpies have got it alive through Fraser, but if they get a goal, go back and congratulate Jared Malloy. Boy, oh boy. The goal, Paul, was kicked by Josh Fraser, but if we have a look at this replay, Jared Malloy's presence has got to be acknowledged by those Bulldog defenders.
Yes, he came through, and I think it was about now they were saying wacky-doo, Robbo, as Anthony just snuck it round the corner, and here's the big fella making up for the errant shot earlier in the piece.
Terrific kick by Josh Fraser to become one of Collingwood's 4 goal kickers. They are Malloy, Davis, Lockyer and Fraser. Two very quick goals. One of the Bulldogs from Nathan Eagleton, and a quick answer there for Josh Fraser. Darcy is tackled, tried to get his left foot to it. The umpire gave him the opportunity to do that. Eagleton, Kinnear, well tackled by Murphy. Well done there by Lane to back up his taller defender. Kicks the ball out wide. Fraser, beaten for it on this occasion by Croft. But the siren has sounded to end quite an entertaining first term. The Bulldogs had 6 scoring shots. The Magpies had 5. The Magpies hold the ascendancy at quarter time, 25-16.
A wonderful opening term there by the Magpies. Both clubs, in fact, really hard at it. They've set the stage for a classic encounter today. Matchups we saw there by the coaches during the break. Mick Malthouse with a bit of work to do, but a good lead of 9 points to the Magpies. We go to break. Back shortly to the MCG. The start of the second quarter. Nathan Buckley marshalling the troops. Anthony Rocker is going to take the square off against Luke Darcy. A very important contest.
Buckley, of course, could have a greater influence. He's running hard as he always does, but Paul DiMartino has locked down on him pretty well.
So we'll start the second term with Collingwood leading by 9 points.
Leon starting in the goal square.
So away we go. The second term here at the MCG. A rocker up high. Got a chance to get it back. Liberatore not able to lock it up. Burns got the ball out wide. Johnson's little right foot kick is all right, but the marker's taken back there by Kingsley Hunter.
Both sides, Robert, playing a loose defender. It's Matthew Croft at one end and Lucuria at the other.
Eagleton's kick now goes in towards the middle where Croft has taken the mark. He looks to play on. Maybe should have nearly been called. Well done by Scotty Burns. He was minding the mark quite diligently. The kick out wide was a little too high there for Harrison. And when he wanted it to sit up for himself, it bounced end on end away over for a boundary throw in.
And I think that may be what Terry Wallace was talking to Matthew Croft about. Just not supplying enough run. If he's going to be the loose player, you've got to get heaps of possessions. You've got to know when to go into attack. You've got to know when to run through the middle. And you've got to also know when to get back. And Anthony Rocker now is pushed down into the goal square, and he's trying to drag Matthew Croft into defence, as he has done now.
How about Buckley? Only 4 possessions. Paul DiMartino manning up on Nathan Buckley. Paul DiMartino giving a free kick away there, and it will go to Scott Burns. Scotty Burns for the Magpies. Kicks out to Buckley. Knocked away by Paul DiMartino. Played the percentages there. I'd say Paul DiMartino would be happy if he could keep Nathan Buckley down to around about 18 to 20 possessions for the game.
Well, certainly would have done his job in that instance, because Nathan Buckley is so critical. So a lot of these contests, but that's going to be a big job over a period of 4 quarters.
Well done by Fraser. I don't know whether you're quite watching that, Paul, but the ruck work there was pretty good. Put himself in front and was not going to be displaced. And in doing his endeavours, Darcy has infringed against Fraser. Oh, Malloy, strong, second in line. Strong mark. Rocker and Croft. Malloy, 70 metres from goal. Beckoning maybe to his teammates that he's going to kick it long. He lobs it in the air. Curley, big punch. DiMartino tackled by Buckley. Buckley! What's he done? He's missed.
It was a good thought process, so he wheeled out of the pack. Knew he couldn't get onto his left, so he threw the boomerang in. And I reckon it just missed the post going left of the big one. But Curley's gone on to target Lockyer, and Lockyer took him deep and then pushed Curley into the contest, so he was committed at that marking pack, and Lockyer was on the ground. If it had spilled his way, he was all over. It was good work by Lockyer, although unrewarded.
Nathan Brown with the football. Collingwood lead by 10 points. Nathan Brown kicks long outside the defensive 50. Fraser knocks it forward. Nearly gathered by Burns. Maybe not quite the tempo with Scotty Burns yet. Clement, he's on centre wing. Straightens up and then kicks high in towards half forward. Marking contest. Good disciplined punch from behind by the Bulldogs defence. Lucuria to gather. Lucuria to Davis. Davis to run from 50 metres. He kicks it high into the full forward area, and the mark is taken by Curley. He looks to run away. Lockyer is shepherded. So Curley has the chance to kick it out wide, and out there the mark has been taken by Hudson. Looking to move the ball on quickly. He's got Johnson. And he doesn't let Brad Johnson down by delivering the ball with precision. Brad Johnson swings around and then kicks in towards the half-forward area. Eagleton is marked away from Ben Johnson there. Ben Johnson for Collingwood, Brad Johnson for the Magpies. The lead has been provided by Bartlett. Grant at the back. Nearly took the mark. Knocked away from Burns by Bartlett. Gathered by Liberatore. Mark taken back there by Kinnear, who is playing pretty well.
Says the umpire called play on, then he changed his mind.
Kinnear for the Magpies, coming up for possession number 8. Goes across the goal square at which he is defending, and the mark is taken by Loney.
Well, everyone's accounted for here, Robbo, so they're not getting much run out of defence at the minute. Bulldogs doing their job. There won't be too many options for Loney other than to go long down the line. Or switch it across. Made a liar out of me, didn't he? We got Wakeland through.
Well, Paul, I think there's a bit of excitement at the MCG here between these two teams in their fight. Their quest for a position in the 8. The Magpies and the Bulldogs, and we're watching Tyson Lane kick the ball in towards full forward for the Maggies. Malloy couldn't quite hold on to it. And a disappointing result there for Jared Malloy. I'm sure he thought that he was a real chance to get his hands underneath that. Collingwood lead by 10 points. They're 4-2-26. The Bulldogs are 2-4-16. Darcy now gets the front spot. Maybe Fraser a little lucky there. Burns looked for Fraser. West, Lacuria over the top. That scrounger Liberatore. Buckley, handball. Fraser, Curley, good tackle. But Fraser got the handball away. Lacuria, his handball. Chance for Anthony Rocker. Goes in and gently does the job well. A goal. Always in a game of football, you see the person who's kicked the goal, but there's a lot of work goes on before that creates the opportunity.
Certainly in that instance there was, Robbo, and it's a wonderful workmanlike goal with Magpies there. Fraser's ducked out of the back of the ruck contest, as you see, just in screen there. Buckley's done all the hard work, fed it out, rode the butt well, dished it wide, and Lacuria's done the mop-up, and Rocker with a bit of pace there does the finish. So the Magpies being rewarded for their hard work around the contest. 5-2 to 2-4, so a 16-point lead now.
So the umpire, good bounce. Darcy takes it. Well done by Buckley. And eventually kicked away by Lockyer. The ball has been marked by Tarrant. Tarrant swings around onto the left. Kicks into the pocket. Anthony Rocker gets away. Hooks the kick. Good kick too. Excellent kick. Hard taken there by Nick Davis.
That's a good passage of play. It's a good-looking forward line, the Magpies, when they're up and running. Tarrant was important because he got his hands on the footy. He just needs to get it a few times. Just doesn't look as if he's been running to the right position. But this is a smart kick from Anthony. Gets it to the top of the square. Davis showed enough courage to get another goal for the Magpies.
The goal kicked by Nick Davis, and all of a sudden the margin is 22 points in favour of Collingwood.
Don't the Magpies just look a different proposition when they're moving and they're making leads in the forward half? This time Rocker showing a bit of dash again, and as you said, Jared, a totally disciplined kick to the top of the square. Davis to accept it under pressure, good courageous mark. But if that forward line can lead and keep on moving, creating space, sacrificing leads, then they'll prove a real handful for the Doggies.
So Paul Hudson having a spell on the boundary line. 6-2 Collingwood, 2-4 the Bulldogs. 22 points the margin. Did some good work to in that passage of play, Josh Fraser, which resulted in the goal to Nick Davis. Good bounce again. Fraser a little early. Darcy able to get the kick away to the forward 50. Bulldogs need a goal back. Ben Kinnear doing quite nicely for the Magpies. Kicks it out wide. West and Lacuria, and falling just as the ball went over Scotty West. May have hurt himself a little bit as he went to ground. Taking the stuffing out of him maybe. Very much publicised his withdrawal from the team last week in Brisbane. Darcy takes it out of the air, then runs out to the left, the right. Which way, Luke? Goes left and then kicks it out on the full.
Well, Josh is doing a good job in those contests, but he does need to own that front position against Darcy. And this has worked really hard to get it.
Excellent work by Loney to make himself available, and just look at the disposal.
Andrew DiMartino was the person who had the free kick, and it finishes with Nick Davis. He'll kick his third goal. Nick Davis, bang, say good night. Oh, just missed.
I'll turn up there, Murphy, his direct opponent, will let's go a little bit back to the drawing board. You don't mind committing himself to the contest, but that was overcommitted, and Davis just pushed him under the ball. And normally Nick Davis would finish those, and only just missed on this occasion.
Matthew Robbins has pushed to full forward. He's been picked up by Freeborn, but even he's now pushed right up to the goal square, and Nathan Brown, right up to the centre square, and Nathan Brown has moved into the square. Shane O'Bree's actually on the bench for the Magpies, if we're wondering why he's not out there.
Rowan Smith was the person who brought it back into play. Eagleton forced to kick blindly. Gee, it's an ordinary old kick, wasn't it? Kicked away by Prestigiacomo. I think he's a bit of an unsung hero for the Magpies. He goes in and affects the tackle on Brad Johnson. Clement to Freeborn. Freeborn, no one to kick to. He's got to go all the way over the other side of the ground. It's an excellent kick to Johnson. He releases Burns. Burns goes out wide. This is Lane. Tyson Lane doesn't mind kicking a goal, but on this occasion drops it in short discipline onto the chest of Nick Davis. Davis has spotted a player, and that is Johnson.
Play on.
Play on. Well, he gets around his opponent and then has a free shot at goal and misses everything, has he? No, he scored a behind.
It was a bit of a waste, wasn't it, Jared, when you consider that Davis, who's a very good shot on goal from outside 40, he had no option there to square up to Johnson. It was a good decision, but Johnson just really should have settled.
Desperate few minutes for the Bulldogs. They have to cling on because the Magpies are dominating. Croft in towards full forward. Croft, good top work back there for the Magpies by Andrew Dimatina. Ellis knocks the ball clear, and it'll be thrown in about 40 metres around from the Bulldogs' goal.
And Wallace has had enough of the match-up with Davis. Robert Murphy coming off. He's been a bit stiff in some respects because the disposal to him has been pretty much first class, so you just want to settle him down so he doesn't get destroyed. And he's been replaced by the Bulldogs' number 13 in Daniel G.N. Syracusa.
And Dimatina's gone back to Davis as
a bit more experience.
Yeah. Bulldogs haven't added to their quarter-time score. Magpies have been inside their forward 50, 7-2. Make that 8-2. Anthony Rocker is marked in front of Croft.
What odds he'll have a shot? Pretty good?
That's how he should. Be pretty short.
You've got to be pretty impressed with Rocker's work rate so far today. He's really gritted his teeth on occasions, and he knows he has to go. He knows he has to lead up to the ball. Big frame, good hands.
Leon Davis was in a terrific spot there when the ball spilled out of Anthony Rocker's hands. The mark had been paid, but Leon Davis was right in front of him. Anthony Rocker from 52 metres hooks the kick. They've dominated play, haven't they? And often you see this, that if you don't sneak away to a 6 or 7 goal advantage, they do lead by in excess of 4 goals.
Yeah.
But the Bulldogs get a goal back, and all of a sudden there's only 3 in it. Good kick by Rowan Smith. Croft, Johnson, he's the electrifying player the Bullies need. Just to get a few touches, maybe up on that full forward line. He found him too, Jared. He heard you. Luke Darcy straightened up. No, he kicks it in towards half forward. The umpire has ignored the passage of play. Brown got away. Eagleton, left foot shot at goal by Nathan Eagleton. The mark, no, not taken. Grant kicks the goal from the square. Chris Grant has kicked the goal for the Bulldogs, and to say that was badly needed, there's a Collingwood player.
I just saw, Robbo, one of the biggest Shepherd's biggest hits I've seen in football for a while.
Could be a 4-pointer too.
That was a classical Shepherd.
Is that Josh Fraser?
It's Josh Fraser on the ground. Matthew Robbins has come through and taken him out off the tail of Luke Darcy there, just in shot. Big hit.
Big hit. He is in trouble too, the young man. It was a good hit. It was legitimate. And it's one that could have a big impact on the result of this match. He's going to need the ambulance.
Well, play surely will be stopped now. Yes, it is.
Oh, Josh didn't have have his vision up on that occasion, and he was being blindsided. It's terrible. I hope he's all right.
So that's Matthew Robertson's being
but it's a nonsense. It was a legitimate bump. Any Collingwood player in the same position would have been only too happy to take him out. And whilst it's great to see Nathan Buckley and a couple of others flying the flag, you don't get yourself rubbed out or anything like that silly stuff because it was legitimate.
A few years ago, Michael Pickering and I think it was Jeff Miles, West Coast Eagles, where we're going to watch it again from a different angle, Jared. You're quite convinced that this is all within the rules?
I'd like to see it in slow motion, but it's just a shepherd. The ball's in 5 metres. You've got to have peripheral vision. You've got to be able to protect yourself for those things that are coming.
Certainly,
I just have a little. I don't quite agree with it.
What's wrong with it?
I think it takes a player out when he's just.
That is a shepherd. That is not a charge.
Okay.
That is a genuine shepherd. If he was going for the mark and he'd come in late and he's taken him out after...
Josh Fraser was nowhere near the player with the ball. Nowhere near it. He couldn't affect the tackle. He couldn't affect the smother. He was nearly an innocent bystander.
He was a chaser, though.
If we have another look... He's not even chasing. In my opinion, he's not even chasing. If we have another look at this.
Well,
I think it's
how high Josh Fraser's been taken, because if Robbins has left
He's left the ground, and...
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you leave the ground.
We can have another look at it. Now, there's Luke Darcy. Where's Josh Fraser?
Well, he's on his tail.
He's 5 metres away from him.
He was never going to take Darcy, of course, never going to lay the tackle, Robert, but at the same time, that is within the required distance. And
I'm surprised at you, Robbo. You've been the defender of the physicality of the game, and here we have. That is right in the action there. That's very much the Laurie Fowler Big Nick situation, and it's a classic shepherd. Unfortunately, he didn't hit him, I don't think, directly in the head. I think it was just more like a whiplash effect or when he hit the ground.
Well, he is conscious, which is a positive sign for the Magpie fans, and maybe, just maybe, he can recuperate on the boundary line, and we'll watch that with...
Was there direct contact with the head, do you think, Fish?
Well, it's just hard to pick up, even on the replay. It was one of the smaller men on the field against one of the taller men. I would hazard to guess what Josh's complaint may be. I just, obviously, like everyone else, hope he's on his feet pretty quickly.
This is what we say, Paul. We say this with a lot of empathy for the player who's been injured. But in the finish, the rules are not definite about, like I have always believed, that once your feet leave the ground, that is designated as a charge.
Well, watching that at full speed, Robert,
not right at all.
I thought it was a legitimate shepherd.
Well, play will go on. Josh Fraser has gone to the rooms. Importantly for the Bulldogs, they have got a goal. It may have been a little fortunate with Chris Grant in the goal square, but they have a goal against the trend as far as the Magpies are concerned. Oh, Bulldog's going to get in there. He's going to fly the flag, and he's going to let a few Bulldog defenders know all about it.
Got to be careful there, Collingwood. Sorry, Robbo. Don't take your eye off the footy. Just got to play the hard ball.
Tarrant slips over. In goes Davis. Back goes Tarrant. He's tackled by Eagleton. Got the hand pass away. Glenn Freeborn. Now O'Brien. Left foot kick into the pocket is good.
Smart.
Wasn't it? Very much. Andrew DiMartino's mark. Too far out to score.
No long options. They've got loose players back there, the Bulldogs.
Free kick to D9. They've been sucked in, and Kingsley Hunter's given away a free kick. The D9, Jared Malloy's going to come up with another shot at goal.
And Darren Goldspink's in the middle of another controversial decision. Jared Malloy's jumper was up around his waist for quite a while after the free kick was awarded downfield.
Important goal to kick this one.
If the umpires sense the two teams a little on edge, they'll pick out free kicks, and we may dispute them, but they'll settle it down, rightly or wrongly. They would be off the ball once.
Well, it'd be just what Collingwood would love this circumstance if he can convert. They lead by 19. I think he's missed. They lead by 20. Jared Malloy has kicked 1-1 for the Magpies. Todd Curley with the football. Bulldogs would probably sense that with Josh Fraser off the ground that they have to get a couple of goals here before the half-time break. 10.5 minutes left. Magpies, Buckley, Nick Davis, still Nathan Buckley, shrugs the tackle and then kicks with the left. Nathan Brown dispossessed Malloy's kick. Fairly well ineffective. Back there is Robbins, who was the player involved with Josh Fraser. which led to Josh Fraser going off the field.
We believe the umpire went down. Yes, he did. It was umpire Corin Rowe. Just got tripped.
43 plays, 22. Collingwood lead by 21 points. Brown's short kick is all right. Marcus taken by Paul DiMartina. Back to Nathan Brown. He runs close to the defensive 50-metre line and then kicks it out very wide. Darcy, free kick, is it? No. Play goes on. Tarrant swings onto the left, kicks it in towards half forward. Awkward bouncing ball. Malloy, Lucuria, Loney. Lucuria tackled. Ball spills. Scotty West. Oh, he was going to give it and then he messed it up. Lockyer, the heat of the moment, I guess. Freeborn. Handball inboard. Ben Johnson.
Get it in there.
Freeborn, still Freeborn. He's got to kick it this time. He lobs it in towards the half-forward area, and the mark is well taken by Kingsley Hunter.
There just wasn't anything to kick to, Jared. The doggies' tools have fluttered back.
Got to go wide to Curley, surely. Curley has provided the lead out wide. He couldn't quite take the mark, but he's got plenty of time to get clear and then deliver off the left in the direction of Darcy. He was a little fortunate, wasn't he? The bounce of the ball. He tries to run away. He does from his opponent. He's forced to kick with the right and does a pretty good job about it too. Kicks to full forward. The mark is taken down there. I think it's Gian Syracuse.
I think you're right. That's a very good one-on-one body mark from Gian Syracuse. But what about the dash from Luke Darcy around the flank there?
He's got big raps on him, this young fella too, and he's doing a pretty good job. Just a young boy, and in this senior time team, didn't he rake it in nicely? Lockyer disappointed, but well done to Daniel Gian Syracuse, and he'll shoot for the Bulldogs' 4th goal.
Well, this will be the test for the Magpies, Jared, just to keep their focus on the ball. Do what they were doing well early. After being unsettled by the Josh Fraser.
What might have looked alike here, Paul? Craig Ellis and Daniel Gian Syracuse. Totally straightens up this young fella. Look at that face.
Small chip off the block.
It is. Unbelievable.
Good work by Luke Darcy. He is sprinting. He's playing terrific football at the moment.
Gian Syracuse, important kick for goal. He's dobbed it for the Bulldogs. First goal in this game to Daniel Gian Syracuse after coming off the bench. Collingwood 6-7, Bulldogs 4-4.
Well, they've just been a little bit fortunate, I think, the Dogs in the last 5 minutes. They got away with the shot at goal from Jared Malloy. Kingsley Hunter would have breathed a sigh of relief. Then they got rid of the big fella Josh Fraser, or in reverse order. And Luke Darcy, I think it's just come to the party. He really is a player reaching his prime. And Fraser, fortunately, is back on the bench.
Well, that's a terrific sign for Josh Fraser, I'm sure, and his family, because he looked as though he may have been seriously hurt. He's okay. Collingwood lead 6-7 to 4-4. Liberatore, a little tap over for Scotty West. A little high, was it? West will take the free kick. No, he doesn't. He handballs it on quickly to Rowan Smith. Rowan Smith, a beautiful kick of the football, but on this occasion, Ryan Loney has read it better through the air and has taken the mark. His delivery to the feet of Nick Davis. Davis's kick is all right. Tyson Lane is marked on centre wing. His kick smothered off the boot, but it came back to him. So there's a bit of good fortune for the Maggies. And his kick has been marked by James Clement. Clement is at left half forward for Collingwood. Decides to go long, kicks it high in the air. It'll land at half forward. Nearly the mark to Grant. Back there is Alice. Robbins gives the hand pass away to Paul DiMartina. He will go looking and searching for the safety of the boundary line, and he finds it. Leon Davis and Shane O'Brien could see the opportunity that was arising there, but just no fortune there for the bounce of the ball going over for a throw-in.
Chris Tarrant needs to stand up here now. He is one of their most talented players. They've lost one of their tools, and he's a young bloke who needs to give himself a lift and his club a lift.
Kingsley Hunter missed the ball through the air there. Malloy and Tarrant still there for Alice. In goes Malloy. Chance now for Cox. In underneath there was Robbins. The little tap out was to the advantage of Grant. It was terrific, wasn't it? The desperation of the Magpie forwards just to maybe keep it alive in a chance to kick a goal here.
Well, they've lifted a gear, the Magpie forwards, so there's no doubt about that, Robbo. And Rintoul, that looked like Rintoul on the ground there, but very good pressure there, holding up the forward line. It's tremendous football to watch.
A bounce about 40 metres from the Collingwood goal. Rowan Smith to run onto it. Momentum was up, so he could break the tackle and get the ball to Kingsley Hunter. He's coughed it up, absolutely coughed it up.
Got Buckley loose.
Freeborn, honour him. He's a beautiful kick of the ball. He ignores it, goes into the pocket. They've coughed it up. Leon Davis left it behind. Robbins, Garlick. Robbins will get it back. Buckley had the chance to knock him right out. He's still there. He slipped and slid and eventually fell over. Andrew Dimatina's kick. Oh, lovely little tap there by Rowan Smith. It might have been Garlick for Paul Dimatina, and then Harrison, and out wide the Bullies are out of trouble. Kingsley Hunter has the football, decides to go short, and Gian Siracusa has marked. Into the middle, Johnson. Johnson assesses his opportunities further afield. Croft is there, couldn't take the mark. The punch away is to the advantage of the Magpies. Freeborn to gather the crumbs. Player on his own further downfield is Malloy, and he's on it. Malloy takes the mark, gets the hand pass off to the running forward player in Lucuria. Lucuria maybe could have done a little better. The kick was into the pocket. Leon Davis. He just shrugged the attempted tackle from Luke Darcy and threw it on his boot, and miraculously for the Pies, he's kicked their 7th goal.
Well, look at this contest. Lucuria's gone long to Nick Davis and Leon Davis with the ground. Look, this is jack-in-the-box stuff. How did you get that away?
Houdini's just rung up. He wants to know how you do that. That was frightful. That was just unbelievable.
He just manufactured it out of pure skill, pure raw ability. That is football at its best.
And it's what folks love to see, Paul and Gerard, I'm sure. Electrifying stuff from Leon Davis.
Even Matt Robbins, his direct opponent, was prepared to look up at the replay just to see how that happened.
21 points the margin. Andrew Dimatina confronted. Johnson couldn't break away. Curley can. Left foot kick by Todd Curley as a bit of a mongrel punt kick. Lands the ball at half forward. Well done, Lucuria. To Lane. Lane out wide. You'd back Buckley here, wouldn't you, with Liberatore's crack? He didn't have the football. Nathan Buckley's free kick. Important few minutes for the Bulldogs. Collingwood lead by 21.
Well, Nathan Buckley's looked at his rating this quarter. Found a little bit more of it. Good sign
kick.
for Magpies.
Beautiful kick by Buckley. 45 metres, and with precision has found Lane. Still perhaps too far out to score. Goes in short. He's got a teammate too. It's Tarrant. Chris Tarrant going for his first goal in this match, and could break it open to the extent of a 27-point advantage for Collingwood close to half-time.
Well, Gerard gave the call a little earlier that they need this guy to stand up.
Will get the distance. Kicks it across the face, and it may have just got through, has it, for a point? It has. So it's a 22-point advantage for the Magpies, close to half-time. We're very deep into the time-on period in the second term. We saw Josh Fraser leave the ground with the help of the mini-ambulance, so the quarter will go a little bit longer than normal. Kingsley Hunter, 50 plays 28. Bulldogs have kicked 2 goals in the first term, 2 goals in the second term. Magpies kicked 4 in the first. They've kicked 3 goals so far. They've kicked 3 goals, 7 so far in the second term. Grant's tackle, ball spills free. Brown has been a little quiet. Harrison, good kick along the line by Harrison. Well done by Johnson. Can he outrun Kinnear? He tapped it to the advantage of Croft. Grant, get it back to Johnson. Johnson's got to get it eventually, doesn't he? He's run about 80 yards, Brad Johnson, and Brad Johnson will kick, so far, the goal of the day by Brad Johnson. It is, Gerard, because, well, I'll tell you where he started, at the HSB Seaside. Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation, and finished up with a jail.
Next to the Nissan sign. But I've seen a few of those before, Rubbo. I have never ever seen anything like Neon Leon's. Look, great goal it was, but I reckon you've got to give it.
It was a special, wasn't it?
Neon.
Let's just say we've had a few highlights already today. That was a good follow-up there. He is initiated and justifiably back in his hands. Robbo, big call.
Well, Brad Johnson is the exciting player. There's a player in every side, and I think Brad Johnson, his effervescence, his excitement and his passion. There's Leon Davis, who
I think he had a record knows who he thinks is the goal of the day.
Well, there'll be some adjudicators, I'm sure, Jared, and it won't be me, but I love that goal from Brad Johnson. It was a critical stage of the game because the Bulldogs needed one. Darcy gets away and then kicks it to half forward. Good mark. Terrific stretch and mark. This fella's growing in stature. Yeah. I think he'll be a terrific player for many years for Collingwood. Ben Kinnear, wide to Clement. Clement is at right half back after a couple of bounces, decides to go very short.
Grant's in defence now, Robbo. They've just got to try and settle down the Bulldogs. Got to find another avenue to goal and get Grant into the match.
Lockyer has got a bit of a mouse under his left eye. Garlic appealing for the free kick on Nick Davis. He's still looking at that finger that may have been hurt earlier in the game rather. Grant with 5 possessions and Paul Hudson with 4.
And I think Brown's another one that has been a star for them all year, who can't find the footy, just the 6 touches.
Lockyer to O'Brien. O'Brien's little left foot kick was good, wasn't it? Loney, beautiful kick, magnificent kick by Loney's a goal. Well, it came very early when the ball was in flight from O'Brien, and Jared Healy could see that Loney was on the end of it. If Jared could have had 500 on it, that being a goal, he would have put it on.
Yeah, and I think I might have collected pretty early in the piece, Robbo. It was Ryan Loney's. He's already shown he's a terrific shot at goal from a distance. He's having a darn good match. He's in the zone, and he's gone bang and put it straight through the middle.
52 metres, I'd say, plus, because it carried the goal line by a reasonable margin.
Exciting side, the Magpies. They may not get there this year, but I reckon they'll be in everybody's final 8 in the predictions next season.
Well, their efforts today are all towards a position in the final 8 this year. And Nathan Buckley kicks it forward. Malloy couldn't take the mark. Liberatore taken to the ground by Malloy. His efforts there, Jared Malloy, enormous once again, presenting himself and putting lots and lots of physical pressure. Watch the second effort on Liberatore, and then back again to try and lock it up. Desperate stuff. Up over the top was Anthony Rocker.
That's a free.
There's Malloy again. Ellis the tackler. Grant. Tarrant gets it out the back door. Leon Davis taken to the ground. Well done by Ellis. Desperate stuff. The handball not too bad to the advantage of Paul Dimatina. Phil Manassa revisited. Away goes Paul Dimatina, kicks the ball, and the mark has been taken by that man that was mentioned a moment ago that has been a little bit quiet, Nathan Brown, but by gee, he has taken a precious mark for the Bulldogs here.
There's a dilemma where to play him, Jared. He's been playing forward, Nathan Brown. Would you put him up in the mix a bit more?
Well, I think it's more an issue with the Bulldogs structure. They can't get the ball. They can't get another goal kick, and they're trying to get a couple from Johnson and Brown. They've done that exactly. No, he's missed. He's hit the woodwork, and it may reflect that he's just off his game at the moment. But with Grant not getting goals and their small forwards not getting goals, they're in mighty trouble to kick a winning score.
Yes, only 5 goals, 5, and we're nearly up to the half-time break. Collingwood 8 goals, 8, double that, you get something like 17 goals, and they win matches, you would think, but certainly double the Bulldogs score of 10, and you're battling to finish in front. Good mark taken out there by Rintoul. Plays on quickly, Magpies will get another one. Free ball, Tyson Lane. Short kick is chopped off. Grant, he's in trouble. Able to recover maybe. Davis, it's Leon Davis and Jared Malloy. Chris Grant went back bravely, but by gee, was hit pretty hard.
That's a courageous thing to do what Chris Grant did there, Robbo. Coming across the leading player, no matter who it is, you don't know half the time.
Gee, if it had been the other guy in the area of the ground, he might have been in trouble. Jared Malloy. Rintoul, shot at goal.
Goal.
No, Davis has got his second. Leon Davis has kicked his second goal. All coming in this term, both of them should I say. Nick Davis has kicked a couple. So it's Davis Incorporated for the Magpies. 9-8-62. They lead the Bulldogs 5-5-35.
Good work from Anthony Fish getting it out to Malloy, and it was a smart centre. Whether it was a shot or goal, maybe it wasn't so smart.
I was saying, well done, Tarrant. Kept it in play too. Very wise. There's starting to be a few people. If you look at that, well done, Chris. And the Collingwood cheer squad with dreadlocks next week, I wouldn't mind betting. Man may have started something.
Well, you get excited, don't you, with players.
He is exciting.
Again, in the right place, wasn't he? You know, streaming towards goal. You mentioned about Chris Tarrant knocking it to the advantage, and he did the rest. So it's a 27-point advantage right on the half-time break. We're into the last 30 seconds. Bulldogs a chance here. Todd Curley, the kick towards full forward. Not able to be taken there by Brown. Andrew Dimatina and Nick Davis, then Glenn Freeborn, and Freeborn kicks it out wide. And it bounces away from Rintoul. He's able to get back onto the football and gather. Kicks it in the direction of, and finds Buckley.
Tell you what,
the way to get the distance he can.
The way the Magpies are playing, every AFL club in the finals will be lining up down at Sereno for another dose of Big Joe's Pizza. I'm not sure what he's putting in it, but I reckon the truck testers better get down there because they are playing supercharged footy.
Extra olives, pepperoni.
Hey, Paul, he's had enough mentions that Gerard Healy and his family won't have to pay for pizzas for the rest of the year.
You can see where Gerard's next birthday party's going to be.
Well, we're watching Nathan Buckley. There's a satisfied man, surely. I know he's a hard man to satisfy Mick Malthouse, but his Chargers have done well. They're 9-8-62, and they lead the Bulldogs 5-5-35. 27 points the margin. Nathan Buckley has made it 28. So at half-time, Collingwood will go in 28 points in front. They're 9-9-63. The Bulldogs are 5-5-35.
Well, very good half of football here at the MCG. Magpies have answered all the challenges so far.
Cox, he really hasn't had much of a run today.
No penny yet. Hasn't had. I don't think he's had a look at it at all. And Syracuse.
Simon Cox has had one handball.
So we're about to go the second half here, the MCG match between the Magpies and the Bulldogs. Both teams striving for a spot in the final 8 with only 3 rounds left after this one. Darcy beaten forward by Anthony Rocker. Burns and Buckley combined to Nick Davis. Already a couple of goals to Nick Davis, a couple to Leon. Up over the top was Kingsley Hunter, couldn't take the mark. Knocked forward by Andrew Dimatina. Tarrant Malloy, Lockyer's hand pass. Is that Andrew Dimatina that may have had a flying shot at goal? Offline and out of bounds on the full.
Shano Breathe just threw the hands up in a little bit of despair because he was the man that should have got the handball. He was running into the open.
Eagleton's kick covers the players on centre wing. At the back is Freeborn. He's able to break away and then straightens up and kicks to a vacant area at half forward. Was a good kick, wasn't it, Paul? You spotted the vacant area, I guess, and you could see Tarrant was in front, and he's going to maybe shoot for Collingwood's 10th goal.
We've just weighted so beautifully, Gerard, that kick there.
And plenty of space. Yeah. Nick Davis has been one out in the square for some time. He's desperate to get at the Buckley, and he's increased the margin, or decreased the margin by a good 1.2 metres.
But I tell you what,
precisely,
he's given it to a magnificent kick of the football. Look, of all the blokes playing footy today, in all the teams around the country, this bloke is a magnificent, long, accurate kick of the ball.
What you're going to say he's probably the best?
No, I think Darren Jarman and Camporelli are equal to him from that point of view.
Yep.
But have a look at that. He gets good distance, but just offline. And it looks effortless, doesn't it? You know, I mean, it comes off Nathan Buckley's boot with just the minimum of effort. He missed and scored a behind, so my scoreline has him kicking a couple of behinds for Collingwood.
Just looking at the Collingwood zone here on the screen there, about 15-man zone. They've all pushed up. Makes it hard for the Bulldogs to get it out clearly.
Short kick in has been taken by Hunter, and I think that's noted here, Paul, that Hunter's going to have to kick long and high to a disputed situation. Up over the top was Kinnear, knocking the ball down where Harrison couldn't break away. O'Brien from Dimatina. O'Brien's kick across his left shoulder is a beauty. Lockyer prepared to give it away. He can run in, couldn't he, Nick? Gee, there were a few loose players, weren't there? Firstly, Lockyer with a little bit of space receiving from O'Brien, but this is a bit criminal. When this fella gets the ball, he's still got a player further afield, completely on his own in Nick Davis.
Well, the Bulldogs haven't gone forward yet in this quarter. Hasn't been going a long time, but they haven't looked likely. There'll be few Bulldogs players that have won a possession.
It was all quite evident on the halftime match stats that Collingwood is dominating with forward inside 50s. And you can only, well, less than a hand, 4 possessions in total to the Bulldogs so far this quarter.
Nick Davis to hurt the Bulldogs on the scoreboard. That goal umpire has not had to move. Absolutely perfect drop punt for goal. Nick Davis, his third. Collingwood 10-10-70. Lead the Bulldogs 5-5-35.
Well, that's a guess. I look on the replay here. I think the kick came into Tarkin Lockyer on the turnover there. Very good vision, Shane Bridges. He's composed the ball in his hands. And I would argue that Tarkin would have been a good chance from there, but did the right thing, chipping across to Nick Davis. Probably thought he could run into that goal. But as it turns out, did the right thing because there are a few better in the game. While we're talking about the best, the cassette shots. And there's the coach's box for the Bulldogs. They'd have a few headaches, Robbo.
Well, no doubt about that. Doubled their score now. Collingwood have 70-35. Darcy gets right hand to it. Buckley, it just bounced back into his arms. At half forward, Kingsley Hunter tries to kick it forward. Buckley somehow gathered it, kicked it into the Lockyer area. He is chased down by Curley. Nothing much you could do with the football there, Tarkin Lockyer.
They've got a bit good mix in the forward half, haven't they, Jared? You've got your Talls and Tarrant and Rocker and Malloy, but at their feet, electric footballers. Nick Davis, Leon Davis, Lockyer.
So the boundary throw in, Anthony Rocker doing the ruck work. Buckley leaves it for Anthony Rocker. He somehow tried to feed it out, but it was Paul Dimatina in the road for the Bulldogs. Now Johnson, another player. Now there's just the absolute negativity of what the Bulldogs are being confronted with. Their playmakers like Brad Johnson and Nathan Brown have been shut down beautifully by their Collingwood opponents. 70 plays 35. Ben Kinnear, the Collingwood player, to contest this boundary throw in. Buckley over the top. Buckley again. Oh, well done, Nick Davis. Johnson, the tackler, pretty good work. Croft gets the hand pass away. Harrison, how was he dispossessed? He just let go of the ball. Robbins to half-back. Curley further forward. They've got to get a goal out of this. The Bulldogs have the football. It is Paul Dimatina. His kick into the pocket is pretty good.
Yep.
And Hudson is marked. Glenn Freeborn just a little late on the scene. Nothing much he could do. And Hudson will shoot for a badly needed goal for the Bulldogs.
Good transition for the Bulldogs. And, excellent use of the space behind. Paul Hudson was up the ground and he ran backwards and sideways, and he was honoured by a great kick.
So Paul Hudson, who is yet to kick a goal, he's got nearly 2 goals a game average in his career. Very productive, Paul Hudson, and he's usually a reliable kick for goal. Make no mistake, Paul Hudson has kicked a goal for the Bullies. So back to 29 points the margin, 70 plays 41.
Well, it's a gross understatement, but that was just what the doctor needed and the Bulldogs needed in this game, because when they go forward, they're not getting in there often enough, so when they do, they really need to make their opportunities count. And this was a good transition from back. Curley over to Dimatina. Loves to run with the ball, Paul Dimatina. He's got good vision, waits for the opportunity to present itself. On this occasion, as Jared said, Hudson had doubled back and found space as he does so well. And that was a typically great finish there. The goal umpire didn't have to move.
Excellent bounce. Anthony Rocker away from Luke Darcy. Darcy can't break away, got the handball away. Dimatina, well done. Brown, opportunity to run onto it. He's going to be forced to kick with the right. It's not too bad, actually. Out in front of Johnson. He gets his kick away in towards the forward pocket area. Absolutely clean bowls Loney. Kinnear's under pressure. Eagleton the tackler. Still Kinnear. Over the top, Lucuria. Little kick. Chopped off by Scotty West. He's disappeared off the scene. Now Brown from 50 metres. He loves this. He's missed, I think, though. Nathan Brown.
I reckon Brown and Buckley will get about 10 possessions each this quarter because it appears that Terry Wallace has dropped the tag off. They've gone in at half-time well down, getting beaten through the middle, so I assume he's just said, well, let's go and just win the footy, fellas. Nathan Brown's had a poor first half. He's freed him up, but he's also freed Buckley up, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not he gets a heap of it. I suspect he will.
Well, we'll watch that with a bit of interest. Lucuria and O'Brien and Loney. Glenn Freeborn now, player on his own, is Wakeland. Wakeland is on centre wing. He's going to be forced to kick close to the boundary line. Great mark taken by Tarrant.
Just some good signs with Tarrant. He's led up a whole lot more confidently and with purpose this quarter, and he's won the ball.
And he's going to kick the ball to the danger zone as far as the Bulldogs are concerned, right at the front end of the square. It's a Collingwood free kick. Does it go to Leon Davis?
Yeah, it's behind the flight of the ball there.
Well, he knew straight away because he went after the football as soon as the whistle was blown. In other words, kept off the football by Liberatore.
Well, it was there. There was no intention to go to the contest. It really wasn't that smart by Libba.
3 goals to Nick Davis, and now we have 3 goals to Leon Davis. So Davis Incorporated are doing well for the Magpies. 11-10-76 the Magpies, 6-6-42 the Bulldogs.
Well, let's look at the replay here. If you watch out the back of the contest, Liberatore didn't have his eyes on the ball, and he's taken Leon Davis out of the contest completely. And there's absolutely no doubt about that. Jared Malloy typically doing all the body work.
Is that dumb? Is that dumb from a modern day footballer, Jared, do you think?
Oh, look, I think Libba can do that a lot better. I mean, the key to it is you've got to take the bloke out of the pack, but you don't knock him over because that's what draws a free kick. And when you see that Rastafarian hair going flying all over the place, it's going to attract the umpire's eye.
Well, he's been value, hasn't he? He spent the whole of the first term on the bench. He's kicked 3 in just over a half. Luke Darcy, but it's just sharked there by Nathan Buckley. And the bounce of the ball, clean bowls Matthew Croft. Back goes Ben Harrison. He's under a little bit of pressure. Well done, Nick Davis, to get in after the footy. He's got it. He can't break away. Gets the handball to Andrew Dimatina. O'Brien, a flying shot at goal by O'Brien. Won't get the distance. The mark is taken by Harrison right on that full back line. Did he come back in inside the posts? Yes.
Point.
It's a point.
It's a point. Somehow.
Well, there's a technicality because he certainly took the mark in front of the goal line. So he takes the mark here and then he goes back and plays on from behind the line and comes back through the points. So that must be a point.
Must have to kick it back into play. No?
Got to come this side of the post.
The post, was it?
Well, it's obviously...
2 years on the laws of the game committee really helped.
I wasn't going to say.
Technically, the umpire... Oh, there's a mistake too by Nathan Brown. Jared Malloy, back to O'Brien. Again, the little left footer is good. Mark is taken by Scott Burns. Oh, look, they love to give it to Buckley. No, they don't. They love to give it to Burns. Burns will have a shot at goal. Burns will kick a goal! Scott Burns has kicked the goal for the Magpies. And you would think for the Bulldogs to get back from here will be a very, very big task. Collingwood 12-11-83, the Bulldogs 6-6-42.
Yeah, they're gone, the Bulldogs. I don't think there's any way they can get back. They're just playing too good a football, this Collingwood. And when you consider that Josh Fraser's off the ground, it's even more meritorious because he's a very fine player. Nick Davis coming off the ground for a rest. Croft is off the ground. He looks like he's going to be sitting down for the rest of the afternoon. Injured.
Rintoul is on for Collingwood and Simon Cox is on for the Bulldogs. 12-11 play, 6-6. Bulldogs will get clear here. Liberatore looked for the hand pass to Curley, but he was absolutely smothered by Black and White. Buckley, go bang, go bang. Oh, go bang, Nathan Buckley misses.
Shit.
You wouldn't believe it. If you said that Nathan Buckley had 3 shots at goal, that what we've seen those shots of goal, you'd say he would have kicked at least 1, possibly 2, and maybe 3.
Oh, he's usually so damaging, so on target from that distance, but 4 behinds today, to his credit, very out of character.
So the Bulldogs trying to just arrest a trend here. It is just all Collingwood. Oh, Hunter didn't want to get in Malloy's road, and neither. Oh, Jared Malloy, he is just absolutely incredible. Oh, the hand pass to set up Loney. He sweeps away to the left. Then he decides that he's got some support in Leon Davis. Leon Davis kicks to the feet of Lockyer. What a wonderful pick-up by Lockyer. Rintoul! That goes Curly and knocks it through for a rush behind the Maggies.
Just looking at where the Bulldogs may be able to get a little bit more out of, a bit of run out of the back line at least. Rowan Smith hasn't had a lot of it today, Jared. Could you throw him in the half back line, try and look at the Rowan Smith of old somehow?
Might as well mix it up now. They've lost their pace, they've lost their confidence, the Bulldogs.
Take risks.
Robbins off and Murphy is on. And they kick it out to the Rintoul-Johnson matchup. Taken away by Lucuria. Lucuria's little kick is beautifully weighted. Burns couldn't take the mark. Buckley, still Buckley. Liberatore, still Buckley. Murphy just come onto the ground. Scotty West intercepted, but Murphy is there. Well done. He delivered the handball and then he went back over to help out. Johnson looks and then delivers to a one-on-one. It's not really to the advantage of Brown. Brown back into the action, but so is Anthony Rocker. Scott Burns, then Ben Kinnear. A real battle. The players look a little weary. It probably has been fairly hectic, the first half and the 14 minutes of the third term so far. But it is Collingwood in control. They're 12-13-85. The Bulldogs are 6-6-42.
Well, I reckon psychologically the Bulldogs were right up last week against the Brisbane Lions. They went up there, they were courageous in their efforts, but they failed. The Magpies, well, they've been down, and this is their rebound, and they're going to have a successful one.
Tyson Lane's kick chopped off by Craig Ellis. Eagledon. Dimatina shrugged the tackle. That's Paul Dimatina for the Bulldogs. Goes out wide to Luke Darcy. Darcy looking maybe to move it on. He knows he can't kick the distance. He's going to have to just pop it up and hope that they can take a mark in the goal line. Grant from behind. Looks a little restricted, doesn't he? They've been onto him, Chris Grant. It's been very tight whenever he has either gone near the ball or had the ball. And right now, Chris Grant with only 1 goal against his name, when the Bullies could do with a superhuman effort.
Just looking at the inside 50s, they've gone in there 3 times, the Dogs, and Magpies have controlled this match. And this quarter, they've been in there 11 times already in this term.
The Bulldogs only 96%. And they're down there with 9 wins. They're just outside the 8, but they don't want a big score kicked against them. Loney out wide.
Should have gone straight up the middle to Chad Rintoul. He made the run, just needed to be the handball. Unless he's under instructions to go out there, which I'd be very surprised, because there was the free man going straight through the corridor, Fish.
Yeah, quite right. And I think Terry Wallace has identified the problems with Nathan Buckley. He's put Paul Dimatina to him now. And I think they'll shut down that option as best they can.
Darcy trying to get the front posse over Kinnear. He succeeds. Can't get the hand pass away. West is there. So is Curly. Curly chopped off by Buckley. Buckley, little kick. Goes back to Scotty West. Scotty West, nice little kick to Eagledon. He's a lovely kick off the left. Decides to handball. Dimatina wasn't waiting for it. He tried to back away without the ball. Comes back to Lane. He's well tackled by Ellis. He's caught. Is he going to be penalised? No. By gee, the umpire was going the Bulldogs' way and then decided he will bounce. Buckley with 8 possessions in this term. He had 9 in the second quarter. He had 4 in the first. He's accumulating, as we have come to expect.
Bartlett's coming from the ground. Robbo and Luke Penny on to the MCG.
There's your ball magnet again, Jared Chainer.
Look out, ball magnet!
Oh, gee whiz. He's all right. Penny has crashed into the ground. Oh dear, the advantage is now with the Magpies, but we'll have a look at O'Brien behind play. Lucuria's kick goes to the goal line and Malloy plays on, gives it to Davis, and Davis misses, and maybe that was a bad option. O'Brien in trouble, attended to by medical staff.
Well, you're a sitting target here, because he's got absolutely no idea, and probably rightly so, that anybody would be coming from the 5th row of the grandstand.
Well, he was lucky that he wasn't more badly injured, wasn't he?
He was just interchanged there, as we said, Penny, and he was completely blinded. I agree.
Well, Kingsley Hunter, after receiving from Nathan Eagleton, has thrown the left boot at it and put it in row 6, which was where Luke Penny came from, wasn't it?
Yep. Just one seat in front.
Oh dear.
We're referring to this incident here where number 27 for the Bulldogs. Just have another look, Jared, at this.
Well, he's got absolutely no idea, peripheral vision or not. He's just not even considering that a man can come from the interchange bench. He wouldn't have been aware he was in traffic himself. And, well, he paid a price, but it was a small one compared to what could have happened.
Well, the Bulldogs have got a chance here. Eagleton, little handball over the top. Garlick, who's been quite... Oh, that's a good kick. Penny should get this. If he doesn't, he should get a free kick, shouldn't he? No, the Magpies will mop it up. Gee, I thought Penny was a bit stiff. Andrew Dimatina with the football. Decides to go over for a boundary throw in about 65, 70 metres around from the Bulldogs' goal.
It was a good decision there by Dimatina. Nothing on offer up further up the ground. And O'Brien looks like he's back on his feet, getting his wind back there, and it shouldn't be too long before we see him back on the ground, which is good news. Josh Fraser's also on the boundary having a stroll too, so 2 positive signs for the Magpies.
Buckley caught. Garlick and Brown, the tag team there, but Buckley gets it back. Little kick is all right. Lockyer doesn't waste too much time, gets it further afield. Johnson chips in for the Bullies. Scott West gets past and then delivers with that deft left foot of his. Paul Dimatina straightens up, kicks to the goal, forward pocket area, and Johnson. No, it's Hudson who's taken the mark in that right forward pocket for the Western Bulldogs. They badly need one, don't they? 12-14 to 6-6. What's that, the margin? 44 points.
Well, it's a big margin, Jared, and it's when the Bulldogs do go forward, at least they're getting some opportunities, and they just got to make the most of it. Hudson's already got 1 goal this quarter. This one, a bit of respectability.
Well, as I said before, usually kicks a couple of goals in each game, Paul Hudson, that he plays. He's kicked 1, he's missed that. 1 goal, 1 against his name.
But there's nothing really definite about their forward pushes, forward thrusters there. It doesn't like it seems to be manufactured more than structured.
Scotty Burns is off the ground and Davis is back on. It just looks as if Burns is in the hands of the... it looks like a blood rule.
Hasn't done a bad job, this fella either, Andrew Dimatina, and his endeavours to try and shut down the midfield of the Bulldogs and pick up quite a few possessions himself. He had 6 in the first, 4 in the second, and 5 so far in the third, and this will make 6 in the third. He gets it back from Kinnear and then delivers pretty well straight down the ground, but getting back is Simon Cox for the Bulldogs. Decides to play on. Gee, that was a bit of an undergrounder. Johnson was advantaged, and then Johnson misses. They've missed, haven't they? Nathan Brown 2 that he could have kicked. Brad Johnson a couple that he may have kicked. And that scoreline of 6-8 is a sorry tale for the Bulldogs.
Well, they've missed a few opportunities, but Collingwood also missed their fair share with a scoreline of 12-14. But Bulldogs can look forward to it, and they get a sniff at the moment. Need to make the most of it.
Rintoul with the football in his defensive 50. Good kick. Spotted the player further afield in lane. He gives it to the running support player Lockyer. Lockyer, brilliant kick. Gee, it's hard to get over a man who'd probably be, what, Paul, 6'4" in the old, 6'5" in the old maybe, and when the kick comes in like that, it's pretty well impossible.
Oh, look, that was a perfectly weighted pass, and way out in front, Anthony Rocker didn't have to change stride, and Craig Ellis had little chance there to affect the spoil, even get to his arms. So Rocker's going to back himself from here, which you can't blame him. He's got a good boot from outside 50.
Well, they do say in racing parlance, Jared, that a horse comes back to the mounting enclosure and wouldn't blow out a candle, but I don't know whether Anthony Rocker ever survives that test. He always looks as if he's capable, doesn't he?
He does.
Anthony Rocker from 45 metres. There's no doubting his ability to kick long distances, but on that occasion misses to the near side. So 1 goal, 1 to Anthony Rocker.
You know, the good thing about the Magpies, Robbo, is if you're playing full forward to them, they've got some real quality, highly skilled footballers coming through the midfield now. In Lockyer, in Loney, in Davis, these sorts of guys. So you're going to give you a chance.
Well, this is Simon Cox with the football. We've had such a spectacular day. It is today the 11th or 12th of August, is it today? And we're still supposedly in winter, but this is just a beautiful day.
It's been an incredible winter all around. We haven't had one.
Well,
as far as Melbourne winters are concerned,
we're probably going to be short of water, but from a football point of view, the players have had ideal conditions to play in today. Glenn Freeborn chops off that attack from the Bulldogs. Oh! Leon, that would have nearly been the equivalent of the Gary Moorcroft one. Malloy, Leon! 4 goals to Leon Davis. Oh, what a goal.
He's enjoying it.
What about if he had grabbed that mark? If he'd have hooked that in, I mean, he and Gary Moorcroft would have a party on grand final night, wouldn't they?
Look at that. That's great control. Soft hands. It's almost like a Michael Jordan basketball rebound, that. And a follow-up feed there. A Jared Malloy dish. I tell you, talking about basketball, if you actually get the stat of assists, Jared Malloy would be right up there, wouldn't he?
No doubt about that, because I think he knows that his physical presence is noticed by the opposition, and he puts in on every occasion, and that surely is a confidence booster for the smaller forwards.
Well, I know there's going to be a little bit of crumb action happening, so why wouldn't you just hang around the D9 and just wait for the Bulldogs to knock a few over?
4.5 minutes left in the term. Collingwood by 49 points.
28 scoring shots that have been registered to 14.
Bounce probably favoured Luke Darcy, but Buckley got it away and Malloy has taken the mark. All happening for the Magpies. Malloy called to play on. Just lobs the ball into the right forward pocket area, out in front of Tarrant. Murphy, well done by Murphy, just a youngster too, building as time is played on the ground. Hand pass, just forced his teammate there to wait for it in Paul Dimatina. Harrison and Liberatore. Liberatore, the short kick out wide. The mark is taken by Eagleton. He looks, assesses, and he in turn doesn't hit it properly. It spills to the back. Grant should kick a goal, and Chris Grant has kicked the goal for the Bulldogs. 2 goals to Chris Grant. Bulldog supporters haven't really had much to cheer about today. Just 7 goals, 8 on the scoreboard, and Collingwood 13-15.
Well, they haven't, and they made hard work of it too, the Bulldogs, even on this occasion. Eagleton's got such a damaging boot, did the right thing. Bit of a floater there, but it's a bit messy, but luck's a fortune. Lands in the very capable hands of Chris Grant, who, well, turns around the corner. That was a good goal, but as I said, right from the full back line, we'll start with Murphy. Made hard work of it.
So 3.5 minutes left. It is 43 points. Collingwood's advantage. Luke Darcy has done pretty well. And on this occasion, wobbles the ball forward. Gathered here by Grant. Well done, Prestigiacomo. Gian Siracusa. Little kick it towards the front of the goals. Who's going to take this? Lockyer attack the football. Well done, Lacuria. Loney runs away from half-back. The first 3 or 4 metres of Ryan Loney is terrific as far as sprinting away from the opposition. Leon Davis from Brodie Holland. Leon Davis saying, I can't kick the distance, lead for me. Malloy saying, get it to me. Short. And Loney has taken the mark.
Well, Loney can kick the distance.
He should go back 50 metres and run with it.
Yes, that's a fair point, because the player on the mark is probably 55 metres from goal. It'll be a big kick. Young man with the football is Ryan Loney. He will lob the ball in the goal square. Malloy! No, it's Anthony Rocker.
It's one of them.
He runs around and punts for goal and puts it through. 14th goal on the scoreboard for the Pies. Anthony Rocker has kicked his second. It is raining goals for Magpies. They lead by 49 points, 99-50.
Well, Loney there was having a shot, but look at those two big fellas. Yeah, great targets, and they've been very impressive today. Collingwood's playing the sort of football that will totally justify their spot in the 8 if they were to end up with one, Gerard.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Just thinking back to the Anzac Day match, Fish, when they took on the Bombers and were beaten by one kick or half a kick, but it was in the dying seconds. They were so impressive then. They may have another chance in 7 days' time.
Anthony Rocker, the goal kicker, he's kicked a couple. Nick Davis has kicked 3. Leon Davis has kicked 4. Now Anthony Rocker doing the ruck work up against Luke Darcy. Buckley's tackle. Dimatina got the ball clear. Chance here for Garlick. Garlick, bit of a mongrel punt kick, goes through the legs there of Prestigiacomo, but his presence was fantastic there. Got it off to Andrew Dimatina. He's a better kick off the boot, I think, than his brother. Found Brodie Holland. Holland kicks the ball in towards left half forward. Gathered by Tarrant. Can't quite shrug the tackle. Looked for the hand pass with Lucuria. Ball spills wide. Rintoul off the ground, and mark has been taken by Lockyer. A little bit of good fortune, but you make your own luck, don't you, at times in footy? And this will result in a shot at goal for Tarkin Lockyer.
Even look at the replay there, Chad Rintoul off the ground there. Well, that's all luck, but Lockyer was in front. I mean, they've stuck to the basic principles of the game, and they've been rewarded for it today. And Lockyer will get his chance. And Terry Wallace recently spoke about rites of passage to finals, and today is another highlight. They really probably haven't earned their position. They really have to win these games, and they just haven't stood up under the pressure as Collingwood have.
Lockyer has already kicked 1. Tarkin Lockyer has now kicked 2. Collingwood have their 15th. Couple of goals to Tarkin Lockyer, and Collingwood 15-15-105 lead the Bulldogs 7-8-50.
Well, I guess as we have a look at this unfold, Tarrant is just getting a fair few more possessions in this term. They'll be looking the Bulldogs, I think, at the end of an era in some respects. First time I'd say they've missed the final since Terry Wallace took over in a full-time capacity. I think he flagged at the start of the season. He thought that they were in a bit of a rebuilding phase and they wouldn't be as good as they could be, perhaps for a couple of years, when he thinks they'll get their strongest side together under him.
1 minute left in the term. Buckley again. Oh, he left it behind. Well done by Eagleton to apply a little bit of pressure. Just the presence of the opposition may have created that little bit of uncertainty for Nathan Buckley. Scotty West, Paul Dimatina, now Rowan Smith. Lovely long hand pass out into the path of his mate Brad Johnson. Well done Rintoul, but Johnson able to shrug the first, maybe not the second tackle. Back to Smith. Malloy kept off the ball. Rowan Smith's kick to the goal square. Where are the Crummers? They're there. Eagleton was confronted. Tyson Lane was the tackler, and Eagleton will be penalised. Lane will get the free kick. Away go the Pies. Eagleton in trouble. Kinnear and Malloy combine. Malloy's got a player in support. That's Clement. Medical staff rushing out to Nathan Eagleton. Siren sounds. Clement too far from goal. Eagleton being attended to by the medical staff. 3/4 time. The big clash at the MCG. Sunday football on the 7 network. We watch as Nathan Eagleton goes down. This is a replay.
Too low there. He's been. That's probably where he had his trouble. He's run into a teammate. They're an inverted sort of contact, but it's taken its toll on Eagleton. He's up now, which is a good sign. But at 3/4 time, it's all Collingwood. 55-point leaders. The big challenge now for the Magpies to see if they can build on this lead, if they have the killer instinct for the Bulldogs. Can they make a game out of it in the last 30 minutes of football? We'll soon find out. We'll be back for the last quarter shortly.
On the bench for the Bulldogs. So they've got some young ones out there, and there's 25 minutes to learn another bit about AFL footy. 15-15-105 the Magpies, 7-8-50 the Bulldogs. 55 points the margin. The bounce certainly favours the Magpies. Anthony Rocker, Syracuse at a West to Smith, just slipping at the critical stage. Underneath there, Robbins. Bulldogs get the ball out towards right half forward. Loney leads in the race. Cox is there for the Bulldogs. And right in front of the members stand here at the MCG, the ball will be thrown in.
And just for Collingwood members watching at home, Josh Fraser's running around the boundary line with the club doctor. So whilst he was KO'd He's not going too badly.
Lucuria to Lockyer. Lockyer to Clement. Gee, Lockyer did well to run on, didn't he?
Played well.
Actually demanded the ball. Then his pass was all right for Anthony Rocker. In goes Holland. He's been pretty quiet, but he does well there. He's been on the bench for a fair part of the game, Brodie Holland, but his vision there and his preparedness to give it off, there is Josh Fraser. But Brodie Holland's preparedness to give it off to Chris Tarrant was effective, and Tarrant will shoot for goal.
I think it's good to see Chris feeding off to Chris like this. They need to get him up into some good form now, Jared. I think being a little bit off the boil, but let's see if they can find him a bit more often.
Needs a long goal, got an opportunity, and looks good off the boot, just drifting to the right for a minor score.
When you've got an ascendancy over an opponent like this, it's great to bring your forwards into it. Don't have finesse, don't do it silly, but they present themselves, give them a chance.
A couple of behinds to Chris Tarrant. 11 possessions with 5 marks. Short kick in is all right. Liberatore. Out wide, Rowan Smith to Harrison. Harrison towards the centre of the ground. Kinnear. Johnson had him. He didn't have the ball, really. Ellis. That's Ben Johnson, number 26 for the Magpies. Tarkin Lockyer. The kick a little high there for Leon Davis. But he's quite magical, isn't he? On this occasion, he probably, well, I don't think he meant to hit Jared Malloy, but it bounced off Jared Malloy over for a boundary throw-in. About 80 metres around from the Collingwood goal. Good crowd in here today, and we've had as I said before, a beautiful day for football. Beautiful day for anything really in Melbourne. Ben Harrison kicks the ball forward for the Bulldogs. It spills to the back. Robbins. Can he run away? He can. No. Well done by Tyson Lane. He was probably outpointed in the leg speed area, but he was able with smartness to get the ball back and then kick it down the line and get about 40 metres for his side and force a boundary throw in. Luke Darcy on screen. He's battled manfully against the odds. Ben Kinnear, Anthony Rocker and Josh Fraser earlier were his combatants. This is Gian Siracusa. He can't control the football.
Part of the respectability factor of this last quarter has got to be the Bulldogs being as accountable as they can be, making a contest of every issue as they can, as much as they can, and making the Magpies really earn this last 30 minutes of football. Don't let the score blow out.
Little article in today's Sunday Age about the youngsters, Luke Penny, Robert Murphy and Daniel Giansiracusa. Well, they're all out there and they've all got plenty of ground time. Rowan Smith missed his target. Kinnear. Clement steadies, delivers beautifully. Not a lot of pressure on, but Malloy to Buckley. Maybe eventually Nathan Buckley will get a goal. No, he won't. He'll short pass it. Punched away by Ellis from Anthony Rocker. Boundary throw in about 35 metres around from the Magpie goal. Josh Fraser, Scotty Burns. Libber leaving the ground and Curley coming back for the Bulldogs. 56 points the margin in favour of the Collingwood side. Anthony Rocker, Luke Darcy from behind. Buckley nearly to swoop on it. Real struggle there for Ben Harrison. Doesn't do too badly. Gian Siracusa from Ben Johnson. Then decides to handball to Craig Ellis. Ellis running from his defensive 50. Kicks the ball with the left onto the chest of Penny. Penny striding and then kicking long towards half forward. Hudson, Freeborn. Amazing, isn't it? You look as if you're going to get the bounce of the ball and the wretched thing won't come back to you. And eventually Collingwood through Simon Prestigiacomo out wide to Lane, and Lane assessing and then looking down the line, kicking to the face of Malloy. Harrison was good defensively and he'll be rewarded. No Robbins there chasing the ball down.
So Simon Prestigiacomo has had a magnificent day and a great second half of the season. I think he came back into the side when Collingwood beat Port Adelaide over in Port Adelaide. It was about round 7 or 8. And at that stage, he just hadn't been able to win himself a spot, but he has been an outstanding defender since, and he really has got a Chris Grant scalp on his belt today.
Well done, Rintoul. Bravely in the face of possible crashing down from the opposition. Kinnear, short kick is all right. Clement with the football on centre wing, kicks into the pocket and kicks it well. Tarrant is marked. Hunter left in his wake. 56 points the margin in favour of the Magpies. Tarrant kicks the ball to the square. At the back, Anthony Rocker couldn't take the mark. Scotty West to Rowan Smith. They don't even concede a behind. Gian Siracusa, short kick. Okay.
Geez, I reckon Anthony will look at the tape there and just say, how the hell did I mark that, and put that one through as a real opportunity.
Gee, that was a bad turnover. Buckley, beautiful kick. Anthony Rocker was marked.
Well, Rob, it wasn't as if there was a lack of things on offer up the ground for the Bulldogs there. As we see Nathan Buckley on screen saying, just tell Mick that he's more than welcome after the game to come back to my place. But just an over-possession thing there for the Dogs, and another cough-up. They're going to pay another ultimate price, another goal.
Gee, the runner does the right thing, doesn't he? I mean, he's as honest as the day, Mick Gafer. He's out there delivering a message. He's in a no-win situation. I think Nathan Buckley obviously barking back to the box.
Oh, look, everyone's done that, haven't we?
Yeah.
You bark back, you just hope the runner doesn't take the message back.
Exactly. And I'm sure Mick Gafer had accepted in the way it was delivered. Anthony Rocker, beautiful kick. Magnificent kick, Anthony Rocker, goal.
I'm going to say that, Gerard, I was less inclined to send messages back to Sheeds on the odd occasion, but look.
You just hope the runner puts the filler right through it. But look, Mick Malthouse he can sniff it, I'm sure. He can sniff it this side. He'd be looking up at the scoreboard. He'd be knowing that the sides they're playing in the next couple of weeks are wobbly. They've got an opportunity here, and if he can't give the captain a message, who can he give a captain a message to?
Look at the stats for Anthony Rocker. 19 possessions, 8 marks, 3 goals, 2, 7 hit-outs. I'd be surprised if it wasn't a bit more than that. But it really is a pretty complete, well-rounded game and performance from Anthony Rocker today.
More and more like a university professor every day, Michael Malthouse, isn't he, in that coach's box?
What degree do you get?
We'll leave that one alone. Anthony Rocker and Paul Licuria, just wrapped in Paul Licuria's work rate. He certainly is in there on every occasion trying to clear the ball out. He's had 8 kicks and 15 handballs, Licuria in the midfield. Rintoul to Lane. Lane to the full forward area. The Crummers are there. Oh, he was onto it, wasn't he?
Good tackle.
Jared Malloy.
Yeah, good handball.
Tarrant. Lockyer. Can't quite get rid of it to the advantage of the Magpies. Curley. Oh, Malloy's hurt himself with that. Hunter. His little left foot kick. And there is Jared Malloy. He was going to fix up that Bulldogs player. No end.
I reckon at the end of the season there'll be scribes suggesting who have been the best recruits of the year. Not kids, but blokes that swap clubs. Well, the Mel Michael Jared Malloy swap has been a win-win for both clubs.
Most definitely, Jared. As we watch Gian Siracusa get the ball to Paul Dimatina. Dimatina in the middle of the ground. His hand pass was just slightly offline, which put Rowan Smith under pressure. Dimatina tackled. Well done by Ben Johnson. Back it goes to Chris Grant. Grant's kick will be marked by Paul Dimatina, and he did a lot of running there to try and provide some sort of target, and Simon Cox has done well, hasn't he? As he was slung to the ground, he got his left boot to it and kicked a goal. So the Bulldogs get their 8th goal on the scoreboard. They're 8-8-56, and they trail Collingwood 16-16, 112.
Well, it was a very good goal under pressure there by Cox. And well done too. He's steady. There's a few changes been run now. Garlick and Davis coming on. Robbins coming off the Bulldogs. But good composure there by Dimatina. Was nearly dacked there, but he had the presence of mind just to release himself from the tackle. And here we see Cox. This really, from this angle, under the pressure Loney put him under. And well done, Ryan Loney, for that. Very clever.
Malloy still just getting himself composed. I think we've had enough dackings for 1 week, Fish. Fortunately, we're all clear on that occasion.
Well, again, the scores exactly double Collingwood, 112-56.
And Nathan Buckley saying there, Robbo, hey, up, bloke, give us a break. bring it back and do the right thing.
Reasonable crowd, 38,793 people here. I guess that over at Colonial Stadium there was a game that was a big match between the Bombers and the Swans, and that may have taken a few people away from here. Rowan Smith's kick chopped off by Prestigiacomo. Lockyer receiving from Rintoul onto the chest of Buckley, becoming quite clinical. Buckley's kick, well marked by Harrison at half-back for the Bulldogs. Long kick out wide. That's a free kick against Andrew Dimatina.
Good play though, wasn't it?
It'll go to Gian Siracusa.
I just thought that was good play there. Robbo just held the play up. The Bulldogs are running free forward to that, so did the right thing.
Burns similarly with Liberatore. Liberatore trying to get the advantage, but the umpire will call him back. Just reasonable stats for the little antagonist from the Western Bulldogs, Tony Liberatore. Gets the ball to Garlick. 11 possessions to Liberatore. There's a good pass and mark taken there by Johnson.
Look at that, Robbo. We've got one player backward of centre. Everyone is up in the Bulldogs forward half. If
they walk another metre or two, the whole lot of there, Paul. Brad Johnson right in front. James Clement on the mark, and from just inside 50, he will kick for goal, and it will just whirly-bird off to the left and hit the post. Brad Johnson, 2 goals, 3. Nathan Buckley to kick it back for the Magpies. Looking straight down the ground from the camera, which is positioned right behind that goal. James Clement receives the kick in. 55 points the margin in favour of Collingwood. Collingwood were 4 goals 1 to 2 goals 4 at quarter time. They led by 28 points at half time, 9-9 to 5-5. And they busted it wide open in the third quarter when they kicked 6 goals 6 to 2 goals 3. And they led 15-15 105 to 7-8-50 at 3-quarter time. Kick smothered off the boot, taken there by Ben Johnson. His kick is all right to Lockyer. Lockyer handball back to Ben Johnson. So a couple of possessions to Ben Johnson in that passage of play. Just drops it onto his left boot. Anthony Rocker not able to control the ball in the air. Murphy gets back. Now Harrison, just a little sloppily. Brown able to gather. Smith back to Brown. Brown handball over the top. Hunter. Dimatina streaming forward. Paul Dimatina hooks the kick into the pocket. Hudson from behind and takes the mark over Freeborn.
You know, Hudson's been positioning himself quite a bit today from behind in these marking contests. He's finally got one, but and he's very good with the use of his body. But that's a little bit of dash in the midfield there, and really had to work hard for that. It was really well done, actually, Paul Hudson.
Well, not a lot of excitement left in this game. No matter what we say, I think the scoreboard will tell you that Collingwood are going to win easily. And Paul Hudson has kicked a goal for the Bulldogs. Paul Hudson has now kicked 2. And the Bulldogs have got their 9th on the scoreboard, but they still trail badly. 9-9-63. Collingwood a 16-16 112.
Well, they were competitive in the first quarter and halfway through the second, but after that, there hasn't been a hell of a lot, I think, that Terry Wallace will be able to find positives with in this match, which is a disappointing way to finish off a game that had so much hanging on it.
And the Seagulls about to swoop on the Bulldog carcass, you would think. With 10 minutes left, kick forward by Brown to within 50 metres of the Bulldogs goal. Kinnear.
Good going.
Yeah, I've been wrapped in his performance. He and Prestigiacomo. Collingwood will get clear. Scotty Burns with the football. Goes short, goes too short. Luke Darcy gives a hand pass. Not bad either. Gian Siracusa back steps out away from Burns and then goes for goal. And they may have another one. No, just off to the right there. Daniel Gian Siracusa. 1 goal, 1 against his name. James Clement. You can see there the time remaining. 9 minutes left in this match, and it is 8 goals the margin in favour of Collingwood. I guess no matter what you say, as a coach and coaching staff, you know, when you dominate a game, it seems that always the team that's coming from behind lift a little bit, don't they? No matter what the instructions are by the coaching staff.
Well, it's a combination of both a lift, as you see Lockyer get taken out of the contest there and get a free kick for his trouble, but it's also the opposition who are in front tend to take some liberties with their football, get ahead of the play a little bit and a little bit looser.
On centre wing, Garlick on Nick Davis. She's a long way down the ground there. Prestigiacomo, I think it was, that delivered a hand pass, maybe intended for Clement, but Garlick was there. It was Simon Prestigiacomo running all the way down. He's going back now to man up on Chris Grant, and if he's played on Chris Grant all day, 9 possessions to Grant, a couple of goals, you'd have to say that Prestigiacomo has done pretty well for the Magpies.
Excellent game. 12 possessions for him, and kept one of the stars of the competition to an ineffective role.
Ryan Loney looks as though he's pretty well set for a lot of football for the Magpies.
This bloke's really come back to some form this season, though. He's had so many injury problems, and he'd be one bloke, I reckon, that they'd be pleased with the way he's gone this season.
Paul Hudson to Gian Syracusa. Brad Johnson has got to get good distance with this. It'll bounce to the right. Through for another behind. 2 goals, 4 to Brad Johnson.
Geez, they've just had a tendency to sell themselves into a bit of trouble, the Bulldogs, and Johnson found himself under unnecessary pressure there to have a shot at goal. But sometimes your first instinct, when you've got a chance, you've got clear, is to kick the footy. Just too keen to find that little bit of space.
Ryan Loney again. He's a left footer. I tell you what, he did well, didn't he? He held onto the football long enough to get it out wide to the captain. Tackle on Penny, dispossessed Penny, got it back, handball, Wakeland. The excitement machine, Nathan Buckley still in the middle of the action. The kick goes in towards the half-forward area. Davis couldn't take it. Garlick dumped to the ground by Malloy. They might lead by a big margin, but don't get in the road of Jared Malloy at the dying minutes, because you might get bowled over again.
They all go up a little bit slower after Jared's dealt with them, don't they?
He's a beauty. 112 plays, 65. The ball at right half forward for Collingwood. A chance for they to add to their already imposing scoreboard. Andrew Dimatina, now Malloy. Scotty West did well, the opposing number 7. Malloy now running after Paul Dimatina. Gets the hand pass back to Murphy. His little kick. Harrison dispossessed. O'Brien gets out of strife. Got the handball away. Buckley deep in that half-forward area. Nathan Buckley kicks to the square. Tarrant and Kingsley Hunter. Leon Davis again in the right spot at the fall of the ball, but it trundles over for a boundary throw.
Robbo, you mentioned Andrew Dimatina. I just reckon he's a great footy story. He's been around to a number of places trying to get himself a spot in league footy.
Very true.
And he's come into this side, and no real plaudits of any description, but all of a sudden he's a darn good player, and he's just worked and worked and worked, and he's having he's playing a very serviceable role in this team, which is on the up.
Well, they've got similar stories. That's Chris Tarrant who's taken a mark in front of Kingsley Hunter. And I'm sure that Paul's got a story similar. Not quite as desperate, if you'd like to call it that, as Andrews, but they've both been very, very good for their respective sides here today.
They have. That was a big bomb there from Ben Kinnear that landed in the arms of Tarrant rather fortuitously, but both have something in common. They both came through Essendon before getting their big break at their next club, so Essendon has certainly maybe given them a fairly decent grounding.
Well, Chris Tarrant has yet to kick a goal. I would suggest by the look of the crowd that he's fixed that. Chris Tarrant has now kicked his first goal. At Collingwood's 17th goal, the Magpies lead 118 to 65 with 5.5 minutes left.
Been handing out bouquets, Jared, as we watch Tarrant take that. Very good grab, but this man, Kingsley Hunter, mate, hasn't done a bad job on Tarrant today.
Yeah, no, he's going all right. I think he's more comfortable in defence than he is up forward. He can win the ball up forward, but I don't think he's all that flash at converting at times.
Well, Chris Tarrant, the goal kicker for the Magpies. Leon Davis with 4, Nick Davis with 3, Anthony Rocker with 3.
Some very impressive stats in today's game, that's for sure.
Another very ordinary bounce. I mean, if the game was close, you would have to question that. Brad Johnson dragged as he kicked the ball. Coming through strongly is Leon Davis. Murphy is there for the Bulldogs. Well done by the young man. Hand pass is close to the boundary line. Brodie Holland appealing for deliberately out of bounds. Our umpires, we mentioned, were Darren Goldspeak, Mark McKenzie and Corin Rowe. Collingwood made a late change. Unfortunately, Carl Steinford couldn't take his place. Chad Rentoul came in, but didn't really matter. The Magpies have controlled this game pretty well from half-time onwards. 9-9-63 to 5-5-35 they were at half-time, a 28-point advantage. And the third quarter was where it was all completely undone from a Bulldogs point of view. Harrison kicks it forward. Hudson and Glenn Freeborn, well gathered by Bartlett, got the hand pass away. Luke Darcy, very well tackled by Kinnear. Ball spills to Grant. Grant's kick over his left shoulder will land. Nearly took the mark there, Paul Hudson. Back goes Freeborn. He was tackled, but he got the hand pass away. Andrew Dimatina looks and delivers beautifully. Lockyer takes the mark and plays on. Kicks Brodie Holland. You can raffle this. There's 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. Oh, well done, Lockyer. Ryan Loney will nearly kick a goal, won't he? Look at him get out to the left and then go bang and put it on the chest of Kingsley Hunter.
Well, anyone except Rowan Smith on the chase there. He might have got away with it and been able to straighten up.
Chance for Murphy. Leon Davis. This opportunity has been created by Jared Malloy. Murphy did well. Eagleton. Still Leon Davis. Now Garlick. Ben Harrison. Look at Malloy. His team leads by about 8 goals and he's still after Nathan Eagleton and nearly affected a smother. But more importantly, it leads to Kinnear taking the mark. And back goes Kinnear and puts it on the chest of Nick Davis. Nick Davis into the pocket. Buckley couldn't take it. Oh, he spotted a player on his own. It was Chris Tarrant. The hand pass was blocked. Craig Ellis for the Bulldogs. From his defensive 50. Couple of bounces. No one to kick to. He bombs to half forward. Bartlett. Luke Darcy couldn't take it. Brad Johnson, the little kicker's all right. The mark is taken by Hudson, and Hudson will go in and kick it to Gian Siracusa away from Andrew Dimatina. Andrew, don't do anything silly. You're frustrated, I guess, because Gian Siracusa was on his own. And Gian Siracusa should kick his second goal.
A lot of ability, this kid, hasn't he? He's very clean, good hands, and he reads the game very well. He and young Murphy are two very impressive young Bulldogs with big futures, you would think, for this club.
So Gian Siracusa going for the Bulldogs' 10th goal. He makes no mistake, he's got a couple himself. 2 goals to Daniel Gian Siracusa after coming off the bench. The Bulldogs have their 10th. Collingwood lead 118 to 71, the margin 47 points.
Very convincing, the Magpies, yet the Bulldogs, and to their credit, they won't lie down. They're still pushing forward. They probably had as many inside 50s in this quarter as they had in total for the game, but Hudson swooping there, and good vision there, spotting young Gian Siracusa. And they've just got it. They usually do keep their heads up right to the finish, the Doggies.
17-16 to 10 goals 11. Bulldogs will go forward once again. Brown, Hudson might get his third. Beautiful kick, isn't it? Paul Hudson very quickly out of the centre. He's kicked 3. I suppose it can be a little of good fortune maybe, but the ruck work was terrific. Rowan Smith, Liberatore combining.
Sensational. Look, if you could prototype the way the Bulldogs you would have loved to have seen them play today, that would have been it. Very decisive out of the middle. They're good players getting their hands on the ball, and the quality of Paul Hudson to finish. So there'll be some respectability in the scoreline before the day's out.
But it's not a true message,
not a reflection,
is it?
No.
No, because Collingwood have dominated this game pretty well from half-time. They created a gap in the second term and went very much into the last quarter with a commanding advantage. Nathan Brown into the pocket. Look at Prestigiacomo with Grant. That's nearly throwing the ball, isn't it? How did Grant get the ball to Johnson? I'd like to have another look at that if we can.
It was very clever. Here we have a look at it now. It's bouncing, and oh no, slap.
Sorry, Chris. Watched the replay, and it was all fair and above board. Luke Darcy's played fairly well. So has this bloke. Kinnear to Rintoul, and Burns has taken the mark for the Magpies. Under 2 minutes left. Back to Rintoul. Rintoul into the middle. Lockyer and Murphy. Still Lockyer. Oh, he tried. I'm sure he thought if he span out there, he might have a clear path. But waiting for him was Todd Curley. The umpire will bounce. Right near the centre circle. 118 to 77. Magpies led by 55 at three-quarter time. They lead right now by 41. Curley knocks it, but only into the arms of O'Brien. Loney for Davis. Leon Davis, one bounce. Handball. Scott Burns, can he get a goal? Scott Burns, flying shot goes off to the left. Through for one behind. He's kicked one goal, Scott Burns.
Hasn't Leon got a turbocharge?
Ooh, he's got some pace.
We're talking about latent time on in this last quarter, and he's flying.
Little kick to himself, Rowan Smith. Then goes straight down the ground. Darcy trying to knock it on. Craig Ellis is there. Long handball, Brown. Maybe a little misunderstanding there between West and Brown. They eventually get it out to Eagleton. Eagleton into the pocket. No mark to Johnson. Comes back to Hudson. Back to Johnson. Can Brad Johnson get a goal? Oh, Wakeland has marked it right on the line. Only centimetres from the goal line, and plays on quickly out to Lockyer. Lockyer could probably give Rintoul a statistic, but he decides to give it to the captain because he gets a vote on the match committee. Into Leon Davis.
Take him on, Leon. Just a highlight to finish the day.
We've got probably not enough time for either side to score left. So just add to your stats, boys. And there it is. It's all over. The battle between the Pies and the Dogs. The points go to the Pies. Collingwood 17-17. 119 have defeated the Bulldogs 11-11. 77.
Had a very fine day. Slow start, but really found another gear as the game wore on, Jared, and the Magpies will be pretty pleased with their showing today.
Oh, that was fantastic vision that set them up for a big clash next week against the Bombers. Two winners now. The Bombers have come from behind and score a memorable victory, and Collingwood will have had a great day all day. And they're going to have to be at their very best to take out the points again next week. Andrew Dimartino, we sung his praises not long ago. Anthony Rock will be pleased with his afternoon. But it's all about next week. For the Magpies, they've just got to keep on keeping on.
They certainly have. They've got a pretty tough draw. The Bulldogs can't afford to lose anymore. That spot in the top 8 is still up for grabs. Where are the brothers? Dimartino and Dimartino, Paul and Andrew. Great family there, and they've done the good for their respective clubs. It was the Magpies in the end, 17-17 to 11-11.